Hey, DDK, tell the people what you just told me.
So we're talking, right? You know, we do this thing, right? It's an after show. It's like an after show. It's where basically the coolest stuff happens in Deadlock Night Shift. And
the graveyard shift.
Take part if you're a Patreon member and all the rest of it. We're gonna have someone who is his name is it's the opposite of
Livy.
It's the opposite of Livy. Okay.
Can I guess who it is? Chat, you're pretty smart. Probably can't guess.
Surely chat can get this.
He may go by Deathy, the original Catsuit Wonder. Thank you for joining us here on the Graveyard Shift. If you did not know this, people who give us money get special access to people that we have special access to because ZP is the man and knows everybody. But here's how it works. Our Patreons had the first access, then we extended to our Twitch subscribers, then it extended to our YouTube members. So basically anyone who supports us, we want to support you, and you have access to the Graveyard Shift. Immediately after the show, we'll be live over on our Discord. There will be a link. Yes, use exclamation Discord in the chat. Click it, be part of the show. You get to ask questions. So if you want to know why Deathy chose a cat costume, what was going through his mind during his latest competition, all of those are still on the books. No questions about Metro's ban, though, okay? We don't have any details. We don't know what was on his computer, Jake. We're not going to insinuate anything or what happened because we got a lot of North American Deadlock to discuss instead, don't we?
Absolutely. Always more to discuss. And I mean, this is the big match, right? This is the one that the folks came to see, right? Sneaky Golem. So this is a reformation. Some of the players from Hydrant Nation, it's Rocker. I mean, these two teams, I would say, are kind of like the top 12 players in NA Deadlock right now, going head to head here. And both are kind of reformations. Both are you know, coming out of pretty much new teams. I mean, we've seen these team names before. We've seen a lot of these players before, but they're both in that very early phase where it's kind of a bug team. It's kind of like you're just kicking things off, getting it started. Who do you favor in this match, DDK? I think this one's almost too close to call.
It's got to be the Golems.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you, Jake, because at the one hand, right, I was thinking, oh man, it really sucks we don't get the Baroness Hotel, you know, they were doing so well. But at the same time, it was always supposed to be this roster. And we already saw with the Baroness Hotel, like a big part of the core of this roster, playing really well together. And so it does make me very optimistic that we'll have like a complete team here that will have a deep, or rather an ability to play deeper Deadlock, you know, going map to map with the, you know, Sneaky Golem. It's going to take a while to get used to, because that's the thing. If we had Chain Gang Wing, I would think, man, they look great, but can they have like that depth going draft to draft? Because that's really, I think, what separates the top teams.
Enjoy stuff. It's going to break our Twitch channel that is now 155 gifted on the night. We are nearing our 1,000 sub goal. Thank you all for the ridiculous support. I just got my first paycheck. Jake is our CFO. He sent me the check and said, hey, idiot, you had the wrong routing number. Do you mean JP Morgan Chase? I was like, thanks, buddy. Esports supporting each other, and we support these players. One team will walk away with $1,000 thanks to Intel. Will it be the creeps that melee? Saya getting MVP awards for his Vindicta play. We saw what Scout can do. John, DMB, winners of Night Shift in back-to-back weeks. Lord NM, the Rogue Mercenary, and of course, Fishcake. Who's the most dangerous on this squad? Is it still Saya, or now that you're matching up against a different team, is there a different player to watch, DDK?
Oh, I feel that's a tough one. I think Saya is always a good shout. Honestly, John, I don't want to sleep on John. I mean, I feel like I can make an argument for DMV, can make an argument for Scout. I don't know, Jake. If I was pressed, there's a gun to my head, I would probably want to say John, just because after the interview we did with him on the Graveyard Shift, we got to know him, and he's awesome as a human, and so I am biased. I picked John.
Great pick.
I'll take Saya, but honestly, these players they're so good at their roles, right? Like everyone has a clear role, I think, on this team in terms of what they need to contribute, and they understand. It's kind of like what Hoot was saying, right, in that post-game interview in EU. And I think if you want to be a really good team, you have to have that mindset of sometimes you're going to have to die for the team, and depending on your role, that might be what's asked of you in these team fights. And I think this May the Creeps roster, they are all really nicely suited to fit together. You know, DMB can play for his like late game ultra carry. John could be that like frontline semi-carry. Saya could be highly mobile, playing initiators, playing catch heroes. Lord and M and Fishcake on the front line. I mean, you just have like a nice medley of players here, and Scout also brings a ton of flexibility to round them out. So a tough roster to go up against. As good as Sneaky Golem are, I think they found a strong opponent here for this money match.
It's time to talk about Sneaky Golem because the players are ready to play. Is that true? Should we rush through this? Or should we like buy as much time as possible because NA doesn't know how to get in the lobby? Let us know, production. In the meantime, the question was, did Hydration survive the Hydra Nation explosion and make it onto that Sneaky Golem roster? Yes, but it's not named after him. This is Rocker's team. He is the new leader of this squad. Everyone knows about it in the NA scene. And I honestly think this is probably great news for Hydration. The man can just focus on his own gameplay, Jake.
Absolutely. And I mean, Hydration has been that Swiss Army knife player for, Hydra Nation, has been able to play a ton of different characters. At the same time, I'd love to see him maybe get a firmer niche in terms of the role he's playing. I think he can kind of do whatever. I don't know where he's going to specialize, but I'd like to see him get a little bit more consistent in terms of like the picks they're giving him, allow him to maybe get a little bit more eco. I've seen him look pretty strong in the past, right, playing a high eco style, but has kind of ended up playing a lot of supports and filling in sort of like the last man in the draft in a lot of these more recent games. So I want to see him maybe get a little bit higher eco, but it's going to be tough on this team. There's so many major threats. You got Rocker and ABG, Rokane, who can all, really handle themselves on those late game high eco carries.
Is Mirage and AVG the player to watch? Are we looking for a Shiv for Rocker? Are any of these likely DDK? What are your expectations as NA gets into the bans and protects? They don't normally mirror what we see from the EU crew.
I could certainly see AVG getting on Mirage. I think historically AVG's always played really well on Mirage. It's been a pretty comfortable hero. I will say as well, just a bit of lore. Of course, we talked to AVG last week on the Graveyard Shift, and we talked to him a lot about previously Hydra Nation, dropping players and stuff like that. And he went into one of the more recent drops they had, which was with Lord NM, which is also really interesting because obviously right now you've got Sneaky Golem playing him because he's on melee creeps, and they kind of put him in various roles, and it just kind of didn't work out. They felt like he wasn't able to didn't have the trust that he was able to perform those roles, and Lord NM went ultimately into a support role, and then that didn't sort of like work out, so then he left the team. So I'm just curious, after cutting in with that bit of history, for him, I felt like it would be such a sweet win to get.
Jake, someone told me you sound like an owl.
Who? Wise.
Got him. Great Talon is locked out. He is going to be banned first. We're going to have the Icy Boy on the sideline as Sneaky Golems will make sure that he doesn't make it in. Thank you, Jake, for playing along. DDK, expectations of the first pick, though. Who is the character that you can't give away to the melee creeps, or sorry, to the Sneaky Golems? It's Paradox.
I mean, that's an interesting one. At this point, it feels like I'm not sure, to be honest. I feel like there's a variety of ways to go in terms of the approach on the draft. I'm not sure, Jake. I want you to tee it up here. Like, we're seeing Mina get opened, we're seeing Paradox get opened. It seems like that's consistent here in NA, and that's a little bit different to EU right now.
I mean, I think these are top tier heroes, maybe in both regions, but yeah, I think NA maybe values Paradox a little bit more highly than EU. I do think Paradox just has a ton of different value, can snowball into like a pretty serious gun carry threat, but just you don't really need to be in high eco game because you just have great pickoff potential and so much utility across the skill set there. But Abrams Mina, it's hard to argue with that opener from Sneaky Golem, right? You set him up, knock him down there, as far as I'm concerned.
Mina, bang. Abrams, bang. Next, Bebop, unexpected. Did not see that coming.
Yeah, that's really nice. Obviously, we know John can play the gun version of Bebop really well. He's also super versatile, really good in the early lane, and there's just a lot of synergies to play with. And I like that they're securing that. I don't think it might even survive the ban phase, so I think that's one of the reasons why they're probably taking it away.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Okay, they are going to go with the Shiv here. I was thinking they might go with a pocket themselves. I think the downside to Sneaky Golem, I guess, is drafting Mina and Pocket too much, because Pocket historically has been pretty good against Shiv, right? Being able to afflict him, and then he kind of dies to his own passive, even where other heroes wouldn't die because of the nature of affliction. So maybe you go for the Pocket, but it also feels like maybe a little bit forced. They go with the Infernus, which is another good response to Shiv. Also a great matchup into Bebop with his big old clanker hitbox. You just keep him lit on fire for 10 years and, eventually he's going to die to you. So I think Infernus, you're going to need some answers to Infernus, really, the rest of the draft for melee creeps. And honestly, for me, I think the best way to deal with him is like a ton of hard lockdown and stuns. And they've already got the best one out with Abrams. So I think Sneaky Golem, so far, I like the draft, and even banning that Mirage that we know can be such an issue, especially with Tornado letting you juke out Infernus pretty well.
They're not going to let Goober get the Goo Man, are they? Does Viscous make it through?
It might. Viscous is not that prio right now, so it feels like, I wonder if you actually want it for Sneaky
Mirage
Golem.
is gone and the Goo is gone. Okay,
that's respect
the respect band of the Goober. Yep, Goober, we see you. We know your game. They know your game.
Viscous is, I don't think is a very popular hero right now, and so to get it banned out, even in the mid phase, just put some respect on Goober, who also looks good on other heroes. That being said, I wonder what he'll play, because I know recently he's been playing the Bebop and the Viscous. So maybe the Vindicta? I think I've seen him play previously.
All right, so I mean, Geist is never a bad option. Kind of works with everything. So I love to see that. I also like it for Shiv, because it feels kind of dangerous if you're Shiv and looking for guys kind of trying to bait you for the killing blow and getting the health swap and stuff like that. And also really good like lane clear and just really stable. So love the versatility there. Calico coming on in as well.
It's good against Geist.
Yeah.
She gets low, you kind of just jump on top of her with her ult, and she can't swap you.
We got AVG in the chat explaining to Sunflower Sen why his team Hydra Nation is not here. They broke up last week. They're now Sneaky Golems. At least half of them are. They're taking on melee creeps, who are another half of the Baroness Hotel team you saw last week. Lash made it through, and chat was arguing, is Lash a good enough hero right now in the meta? They said no. The stats say maybe. 8 wins, 9 losses. But I don't know how long that range is. That can't just be the last 2 weeks. He hasn't been on the show at all tonight.
I mean, this is a good Lash game, right? There's no Kelvin. There's no, you have the Bebop and the Paradox. Sneaking on, though, they're going to pick up the Holiday. I think this is a good response to the Lash, right? A way to shut him down. You go up too aggressively looking for that Lash ulti, you could wind up getting lassoed and just absolutely, burn down to Kingdom Come, given all the follow-up that Sneaky Golem have. So actually, as much as Holiday isn't played that much right now, I think this is a pretty solid Holiday game. She's going to have a lot of opportunity to get big catches.
What are we standing around for? Let's start.
It's kind of fun to see that melee creeps have like both Bebop and Paradox and Lash. It's kind of interesting in the sense that they're so heavy on the picks. One thing that's been interesting is just seeing Ivy sort of not be all that present after being like mega high priority, not bans, not picks. Just no one seems to care about Ivy anymore.
Yeah, after the nerfs, it feels like people really haven't been playing her, which maybe is an overreaction. But we're gonna see some Wraith. Maybe melee creeps can show a little bit of what Buff and Jars are able to find on this hero. Maybe finding some of that improved early game scaling could be nice. I do think the Sneaky Golem draft really, really well-rounded. I think they've got insane team fight. Like if Billy is able to chain gang people, pull them in, you got Infernus ult to follow that up. You've got Mina ult and Abrams ult to follow that up, or rather Abrams just pin. So many follow-up skills for 2 great initiators in Billy and Holiday. For melee creeps, I think they're kind of relying on a bit of outplay, a bit more of like the individual solo pick catch-off. Maybe that'll be enough, but I just think there's going to be a point in the game where Mina and Infernus can kind of take over once they get all the items they need. I feel like ultra late game, Wraith has a lot on her plate to be able to counter and carry.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have already seen Wraith earn an MVP award. That was back when it was played by Zergy. Chat, I'm putting up 10 gifted. If Infernus wins MVP for this matchup, 10 gifted to the chat. If you have a character that wins and you want to back up a little gamble, make it a little interesting for yourself. Feel the tickle of the gift prime being gifted to your friends in the community. Go ahead, put that player's name in, how many you want to go. It doesn't have to be 10. It could be 1. It could be 5, DDK. We're all friends here. But who do you think would be a fun character to win MVP? Would it be the Bebop? Who do I want to watch more?
Fun character. I mean, yeah, always the Bebop is a fun one. Yeah, why not? Let's give it to the Bebop. I do think though that there's going to be some interesting challenges here, Jake. I don't know what you think, but I feel like this Abrams, Geist, Billy kind of front line feels kind of scary in like some of the team fight situations. It's going to. I feel like it's going to be very easy for them to kind of brute force down position with those 3 heroes.
Yeah, I think melee creeps need to split them apart, right? Whether it's the Bebop hooks or the swaps from Paradox, maybe the Lash ulti. It's going to be these sort of movement control team fight skills that are going to maybe break the formation for Sneaky Golem. That being said, for me, the character I want to see get an MVP is Holiday. Actually, I think Holiday has been really out of the meta. This is like not an S tier pick right now. Maybe he's like B or C tier even. But I think this is potentially a great Holiday game. It won't be easy. There's a lot of counter catch against her. Bebop and Paradox can kind of pull you back in even once you already find that lasso. But if Holiday's off to a hot start this game, she's got plenty of follow up from her teammates to serve them up some free kills with those lassos. So definitely looking for Holiday to have a decent lane and maybe start getting active on the roams in those mid game, late game team fights.
Chad had a quick question. Is this like Pugs or where they're playing matchmaking and they get a random lane, or do the players choose where they're going on the map, DDK? Can you break that down for some of us newbies to Deadlock?
They get to choose. There you go.
Sick. Easy shit.
But they can also, of course, like swap if they want to, but they get to choose.
And I think
Windex1, thank you for the sub. We are up to 185. That is 105 away from 1,000, which is 4 digits, and that's just fun. We celebrate with an NA Grand Final presented by Intel. It's Sneaky Golem, Melee Creeps, DDK, and Jake on the mic for your NA fight. Here we go.
Yeah, and the lanes, I mean, even with the lanes you see at the top of the screen, the players aren't really going to bother swapping too much in the lobby. They're just going to like go to the other zip line because they don't want to telegraph to the opponent where exactly they're going to be. So there's always a bit of a mind game because you don't really want to swap lanes once you show up to that lane, but you do, of course, want to field some strong combinations and set yourselves up for a decent team fight. Here in this side lane, it's going to be Mina Abrams taking on Lash Wraith, and I would think Wraith historically has been pretty weak in the early levels, pretty weak at the laning phase. We'll see if those buffs to her and her level 1 gun damage are actually going to be enough to bully down someone as tanky as Abrams.
All right, well, I'm excited for this. I'm really excited to see both teams. Obviously, the new Hydronation, Sneaky Golem. It's kind of weird though, because I kind of wish that they would have stuck with Hydronation just because of the continuity. But hey, I guess I got to go with the flow here. The Sneaky Golem.
And the DMB Wraith, how long has it been, Dan? DMB's played this character every damn game, man. There was a while.
Yeah, and also like Infernus was another really big one for DMB for a long time too. And I kind of want to see that more now we're in that meta again. And it's gonna be like this was a hero also that started to suffer, in the early lane. Like I feel like early lane phase as Wraith felt quite underwhelming for a while. In the just maybe the months before she got phased out of play.
Yeah, this character historically hasn't been that strong in the early laning phase, but I think the matchup against Mina could be kind of nice. Right? Mina has a pretty small health pool, and Wraith can get that relatively consistent harass on the cards. Efficiency from DMB is waiting for those boxes to spawn.
Well, we get Geist actually also going for a little box run as well, so that's something to pay attention to if you are a newer player. That you can capture those boxes for the souls in between waves. Obviously, you don't want to miss any souls on the actual lane, so you pick those little windows when you are not going to miss anything. Go grab some boxes.
Calico just hard rushing cold front. Silly hero.
Yeah, it was worth.
This right side lane for the moment feels pretty neutral. Seems like not much activity really happening across the map. Both teams just content rather to maybe just farm up in the early game. Attempted sold an eye block there from Abrams using his HP for something. AVG though on the Geist getting super low here in the mid lane. Calico gonna clean that one up. Traded back the other way though, so it's a 1-for-1 here in the mid lane. First blood though going to Scout.
I've got to say, if I am anyone on this server right now, I'd want to be probably League on the Infernus, because it is kind of horrible to be John on the Bebop against an Infernus because your hitbox is so huge. It's really easy to get the burns stacked on Bebop. And that's I'm kind of curious how that lane is going to fare for Fishcake and John.
I'm curious to see how Infernus builds this game. I think he is going to need to build a ton of defensive tools just because of how much stun and catch threat there is against him. And, you know, that's the nature of playing Infernus. Everyone knows how much damage you can deal. They're going to jump on you. They're going to try and pressure you and punish you. See if League's able to navigate that this game. But man, I mean, seeing DMB on this lane, he looks pretty strong on the Wraith here on these early levels. Historically, that's been the weakness. And I think if you can, I mean, we're far from that point yet, but if you can come off the lanes with a pretty strong start, getting active on the Wraith, definitely an attractive proposition. Goober's ult, the first one to come up in the game, see if that lasso leads to any kind of kills.
Somewhat of a attempt at a punish here. Looking for some of those boxes. Geist in trouble. AVG on the way out. And it's close, but is able to escape there. Melee Creeps doing a good job keeping the pressure on in those mid players. And in the meantime, you know, we're talking about maybe difficulties John may have, but getting some good Guardian damage as well. So keeping things actually somewhat in advantage, but pretty deep on this lane. Will take some burn damage here. He's going to get chased down. There's the flame dash, gets forward position. Could be a trade coming out on here. League gets the burn onto John. League is super low, but somehow looks to be alive, unlike AVG, who will finally be finished off. But the question is, can we survive here? It looks like Paradox has to keep the Calico alive, just trying to hold. Can't show yourself to the Holiday right now. One bullet is all that would do, but Goober's going to go down there looking for that kill.
That's huge from Saya and Scout there, that they're able to outplay, stay alive, and get the double kill in the mid lane. ABG really struggling this game. Mina, though, under a lot of pressure from Wraith. One card maybe could be enough to do it. No single retreat either, but DMB doesn't want to overplay his hand. Knows the risk here, being potentially shut down. And Abrams coming back in with the heal in this lane, but it's not going to be an easy Guardian to hold. I mean, Wraith going to be pretty happy to walk up and maybe, you know, pressure that next wave. And I don't know who's going to be able to roam in to help them.
Yeah, forced to grab that healing right for some more sustain. It's so squishy as Mina that it's like the healing right is like basically almost your entire health bar, it feels like, at this stage of the game.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel good to buy that item on Mina because, you know, later in the game, you just sustain completely off of your first skill. Big parry, though. Lash finds that catch. Maybe a little bit greedy there. Abrams tried to go for the charge melee. The ulti could be enough. Pulls him in. Dumps him there into the low ground. Even getting the melees there on the Mina while she's trying to ult in. But DMB, this should just be clean up city here for the Wraith. Abrams got out of this one, but DMB may be looking to continue to pressure on here. Thinking about pressuring that Guardian.
Look at the sneaky
nice little
tech here.
I like this tech. Well, I'm gonna abuse this in my games now.
Yeah. Yeah, that spot by the church door, pretty nice, and that's actually decent chip damage right there. That was sizable. Speaking of which, we've got some very sizable damage coming on here. Once again, John, this is the problem. You get a little bit too deep, a little bit out of position, you get punished. And this leaves Fishcake alone. He's getting chased down by the Billy. Slice and dice there. Great movement to try to keep himself up, but it's not going to last for too much longer. Quick melee and a finish onto Fishcake. And this lane is looking much more in control now of Sneaky Golem.
Yeah, they've lost a lot of HP on the Guardian, but they've extracted so many kills out of it. This is sort of an uncomfortable spot to be for melee creeps, right? Do you try to keep diving and maybe just int down that Guardian? Or are you just going to get brutally punished for that? This would be the moment to maybe try it, but with that concussive combustion online for League, it might just be too scary. All the lanes, though, still quite contentious. Only a very small soul lead here for melee creeps. Probably the toughest lane so far, though, has been this right side lane where Mina and Abrams managed to hold on to the Walker, or rather the Guardian, for quite some time. But it feels like push is starting to go against them here. Infernus proccing that spirit damage barrier. Still has the tankiness to be able to survive this one, but you got to put some respect on Fishcake, right? He has that execute. Infernus would be a prime target for it. You just get like maybe one more slice and dice connection.
Yeah, the spirit shielding does seem like a must here against Bebop. And here comes the hyper beam right over the top, off the back of the double jump. It's going to completely clear all the space. Unable to find the finish that I think was being looked for by John, but at the same time, it's pretty important. But hold that thought. We've got a Nostra coming in from up top. And the guy's doing quite a lot of damage here. It's got to be pretty cautious, though, trying to chase down Lord NM. Very weak. Gets the swap off to save Lord NM. That is absolutely epic there. Lord NM on 10 HP gets away.
Oh, and the parry as well. Tried to get a greedy little quick melee in there. Rocker got shut down on the Abrams. It's a 2 for 2 across the map, though. John goes down. And so, too, does that side Guardian here. Infernus off to a very hot start in this game. Not only opening up the Guardian, but also in a great position to continue to farm up there with the Cold Sack. This could be a very high net worth game here for League. You know, if the early start is anything to go off, he's going to be very happy to just go hit the jungle while Hydration holds that tower down.
Yeah, Scout and DMB, on the other hand, looking to be a problem too. Doing very good work on their sort of carry roles respectively, although they have both different roles. in terms of what they might be doing on the map. Like the roam from Scout on the Calico will be really interesting and could be problematic for Infernus if they want to rather try to punish farming from League later. We'll have to keep our eye on that. But for the meantime, we're still in this early laning phase. We're about to get the 10-minute mark, though, where we will get the bridge buffs up and the first urn in play. And we might begin to see more roaming now that right side tower is down for Sneaky Golem.
Oh, and the swap actually dodges the lasso. They get the follow-up kill onto that Geist, who's just been the punching bag this game, but Calico pinned in under tower, and they are going to be able to secure the bag. So it's not the most painful death here. And I mean, Sneaky Golem, no, this is their last Guardian of the external Guardians. They really don't want to give this one easy. They don't want to open up that flex slot this early into the game. But they are able to find another kill now, this time the Paradox. So the two players diving into that mid Guardian don't get punished. Now Hydration looks for a connection here. Might want to go for more. Parry has been used. He's going to be able to free cast melees there on this Bebop. And Bebop, the uppercut, does get him out of trouble for now. But Billy happily able to claim that life buff. And oh, Bebop, I think maybe you've bitten off more than you could chew on this one.
Yeah, very scary stuff there. Okay, Fish Cake. Killing Blow is online here. Billy gets low enough for that one. We'll see if that's going to happen. Billy, great sustain, especially because of the life buff. He's getting pretty low now. Killing Blow not available in time because Fish Cake is just disintegrating. That's Fish Cake's 10-2, I guess. And the urn is available now on that left side lane as Sneaky Golem are going to just make quick work of that Guardian.
Yeah, it looks like to be a lot of Guardian trades here coming up very, very soon. Infernus, he's got that Spirit Shielding. Is he willing to just soak some of this Bebop ulti to get the tower down? It seems so. Do they have enough damage? Maybe not. Lash, though, is coming in. Maybe trying to finish off League here. If you're able to find an Infernus kill, that would be the dream scenario here. But they're going to have to content themselves just getting the urn pickup and maybe sending that over to the other side of the map. Won't be easy to get the drop off this early in the game, but hey, maybe with the Lash ulti over the top, it could just be a little bit too threatening for Sneaky Golem to contest.
And speaking of Sneaky, nice little steal there of the Sinners from Fish Cake. He's able to take that one away from his opponent's side of the jungle. It's a small thing, but it adds up. And Nox Nostra coming in on top. That's such a good follow-up off of a lasso. That's very challenging to deal with. And okay, the urn is now making its way to the deposit spot. And it does look like here, Jake, that Sneaky Golem are looking to potentially contest this. 5 players or 4 players available.
Yeah, we'll see how this contest goes down. Definitely going to be crucial. The game still is very, very even, but the urn is going to make all the difference. Both teams have committed a lot of players toward this fight, but Melee Creeps have 5 here. Mina, though, coming over, adding is actually going to be, yeah, full 5-on-5 engage for the urn. Infernus using the time well to maybe siege a little bit. Telekinesis Force, all it does is really take the barrier off, but the swap catches Infernus as well, and without Infernus into the fight, this could be a difficult one. League already down. Melee Creeps lost a lot of HP across the board, though. Do you have the follow-up cleanup here? Sneaky Golem has more players coming into this one. John traded out next now. And Goober is getting a lot of value. This is the type of fight where Holiday could really start to build up ahead of steam. That being said, Shiv wants to end it right here and now, and Execute would be huge. He's keeping those connections on the Dive Dagger, and there it comes. The Execute is good, the Urn Drop as well. And although you do find some counter kills, in the end, Melee Creeps going to be the winners of that fight, coming away with the Urn Drop.
Yeah, neck and neck, though, still on the souls overall. And with all those Guardians down for both sides, the macro game starts to really open up as both teams can now find a lot of space around the map. There is a Sinners, as we can see, with the double Sinners for Fish Cake on his side of the map respectively. And I'm curious, what Sneaky Golem will try to do. Obviously, all the pick, is really with Melee Creeps. If you think of the pick potential between Bebop, Paradox, Lash, there's a lot of ways to open up some fights and to get a little aggressive to try to punish the jungling, which might be starting to happen as we see all the lanes are fairly even at the moment.
Veilwalker picked up by Shiv. It's going to give him that sustain and maybe the opportunity to set up some ganks with the invisibility. Furnace has gone for a very greedy farming build here. Tesla and Coltsack. Just going to be able to clear out that jungle relatively quickly. But may need to be fighting earlier than later in this game, right? I don't know that he's going to have the freedom to necessarily just hard clear jungle. A lot of players grouping up on this right side of the map. Maybe considering the possibility of an urn spawn. No one wants to be the team to make a mistake. No one wants to be caught out.
Yeah, it does feel quite scary right now in the jungle. Sneaky Golem, like, all just making sure that they are together at the moment so they can deal with any initiations. There comes that initiation that was being looked for by Melee Creeps into the swap. We get an attempt here for Melee Creeps to get a pick off, and it's going to be League that does go down. That's a big find. The Infernus is gone for Sneaky Golem, and still we'll get Melee Creeps continuing the fight. And at the same time, 1v1 for this Walker on the left side. Sneaky Golem, they have got AVG trying to keep this pressure up. They really want AVG to be able to do something here, but it's going to be a very hard battle to win. Assistance is coming. A gank is coming from Calico. Scout's making his way onto the flank. I don't think AVG will survive. In the meantime, this right side Walker is getting beamed down by the Hyper Beam, and you can see Holiday trying desperately to get to the airborne Bebop, and he is unrelenting, and just now the melee, and just until his death, is going to try to take down the Walker, and it will fall, and the fight continues here for Melee Creeps as they now try to punish League, who's just got back up, who just recently picked, bounce off the wall, and that's going to be the end of Lord and M. So they'll lose some players here, Jake, but they do get some value in return.
John just saying, whatever it takes, I will kill this Walker. I love that positioning from him. Just gunfighter position there, back into the wall with the Bebop laser. Just powering it down with a ton of green items on the Bebop, right? He's not easy to burst down. Goober, of course, didn't have the lasso to get that cancel out, so he's free to go for the committed play. That last Guardian, super low. Mina, ooh, the slowing Hex. He's keeping her around. She wants to go in. She wants to go all in, and she is going to be able to find that on top of the Infernus burn, but Scout is here to clean up Rokane. Just had to die to get that Walker opened up, or the Guardian, rather, opened up. Start things off in a decent spot. Oh, big catch with the slam, though, onto the Infernus. Kind of kills his jump out. The Lash ult should be enough to clean it up. A little bit of greed looking for more, but yeah, just a nice big bag to go home with there. And Melee Creeps solidifying the lead here. Constantly, though, AVG has been kind of a thorn in the side on this side lane. Oh, swap misses while he's going to dive in. He's going to look for more. Under the Walker is kind of wild, kind of crazy. I went all in there for the swap. Hydration as well went for that play and just absolutely got obliterated. That was way too deep of a dive. Melee Creeps were super prepared for that with Paradox already rotated into the fight.
Yeah, it seemed like the Walker was, you know, it's half health. It's like healthy enough where it seemed like a very... It seemed like a very aggressive decision, we'll put it that way. And now we're going to get the mid-boss from Melee Creeps. They're going to just delete that. And at the same time, the urn, it just got dropped by the Mina. I don't know what they want to do here. They might be forced to have to try to go for the urn and maybe force a fight around the defensive comeback urn positioning. Because this is a very early mid-boss, 16.5-minute mid-boss coming in from Melee Creeps, getting the rejuve boss. And they can just now start to siege these two Walkers. And also, those two Walkers are where the deposit spot is, too. So this is kind of ideal in terms of Melee Creeps. Just evening up the lanes, and then they can send it.
Are they going to contest this urn drop, though? That would be very aggressive, right? You might have the advantage here in terms of souls and the rejuve, but it's not so big, especially at this phase of the game where you're going to be able to hard dive, I think, into the Walkers, and they are going to go and try to contest this. And here you see the challenge of trying to team fight in this location. Big damage in one rejuve crystal already off the field, but they're just throwing bodies into this one. Only one kill down, so I think already a nice trade so far. Paradox diving yet deeper. Super risky plays. Hydration is eventually going to go down. Melee Creeps, the rest of their team still healthy. Big pressure now, all in committal on this mid Guardian. Calico just seems willing to tank this stomp when it does come. Dodges over the top of it, though, and just slamming melees here in the mid.
Oh man, what a great call from them. Just burning the rejuves, forcing the team fight, converting it into two Walkers immediately. Just the snowball here off at the back of the mid boss is incredible. And the urn, it seems to work against Sneaky Golem, as indeed the Bebop play from John is prolific, to say the least. And so look at AVG. What's he doing up there on the right side lane? He's just trying to eat at these base guardians just by himself. I think he's very dead. Oh, counterspell comes in with a life swap as well.
He's going to get the base guardians. He's going to get the base guardians. This is actually worth if he gets them. Shiv doing what he can, trying to get rid of her. Do the creeps get the base guardian in time? Oh, not quite.
So
that's all right. That is reasonably worth. That is reasonably worth from AVG. You know, like, I don't think he's going to escape if he does run away there. And he does so much damage there on the base guardians. I mean, someone might even be able to snipe those down, like from under backdoor, if they just have a pretty high instance of like spirit burst damage. So, I mean, value gained across the map, but nonetheless, the Noose Titans, Melee Creeps still have that one last rejuve charge, which is worth so much, right? Because it ensures everyone else who hasn't already consumed rejuve has this powerful buff. And it looks like they want to convert. They're going to start a fight here. Wraith looking to bait that kind of engagement. Sneaky Golem, I think, are wise to it for the moment, but Rocane can't slip away.
Yeah, this is very challenging for Sneaky Golem. It felt like League never really was able to ever get going. I think that ever-threatening presence of like multiple initiations from melee creeps, a big issue. And now the base fully under siege, as these shrines are the prize at the moment for melee creeps, still with that one rejuve charge, looking to force the issue, taking the fight to their opponents. And that's AVG now taken out. We'll see what else they can do in the base. Lash over the top here. He's going to get the Death Slam, trying to pull him out from the fountain,
Nice
but he's going to get pulled in the lasso. The table's been turned on the Lash. Into the fountain he goes, and he's not getting out of there. And so that might be a kill to try to string something off as we see the rest of Sneaky Golem trying to make their way out of the base. What kills can they catch here as they try to find something? DMB goes down. That's a nice find here. Is there anything else, any other value? Most other players have escaped from melee creeps, but one is still stuck in the middle, and he's going to go down. Saya has been consumed as well.
A lot of counter kills, and that left side walker already low. The right side base guardians, remember, down to like just 1 HP here. Bebop trying to hold this. I don't think you're going to be able to hold this urn drop. You're 3v6 guys. Melee creeps sticking around. I managed to live there, not being punished to going for that threatening play there. Is pretty happy about that one. But another favorable urn drop here. And although you're on your last life for Sneaky Golem here, right? You know, with that knocked patron, I still feel that the advantage isn't such that melee creeps can just full send it. And soul-wise, it's going to be pretty much even after this urn. So there's still room for Sneaky Golem to make a big comeback here in the late game. Like being able to get those counter kills and the comeback urn at the same time is really nice for them at this moment.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's definitely far from over at this point. I'm really curious what the total kills are between the two teams. Obviously, kills are kind of a misleading metric because of the value, how it changes at different times in the game. But still, we'll see the kills here, 18 to 29. So yeah, you can see Sneaky Golem at this point in the game. They have been losing out on the majority of fights, but just like Jake said, they're in a position here as they look for an engagement. They're going to find something. And, okay, looks like it's a little bit of nothing, bit of a nothing burger there, but there's the paradoxical swap that comes in.
He's in trouble. Melee creep still healthy across the board. I think Sneaky Golem may need to just get out of this one. A lot of players coming in from all sides, and yeah, they know it too. And then there's a good attempt. You got to look for those opportunities, Sneaky Golem, to try and make this comeback a reality. You got to fight some kind of a kill, but they know one bad team fight and the game is going to be done. They're going to be down to their final life here in this NA money match. And for their first outing as a team, they want to make this one as long and competitive as possible. Right? Even if you end up losing this game one, you want to make it difficult. You want to make melee creeps have to work for it.
It's really interesting. You know, League has managed to catch up a little bit in the farm. Billy and Abrams not looking too bad. I mean, it's it's not ideal, but it doesn't feel too far away, Jake. It just requires a good fight. But I think the problem there, Jake, and I think this has been just paying dividends for melee groups the whole time, is that their initiation is just better.
Yeah, they have such great ability to start the fight. I feel like for Sneaky Golem, it's a lot of pressure on Goober. He's got to find those lassos and then not get counterhooked, not get counter swapped in. And that's the big challenge, right? Honestly, I think the key would be to find the lasso onto like a Paradox or a Bebop to shut down some of the potential counterplay that's available. Right now, Sneaky Golem, they're roaming the map as a unit. Melee creeps are content to just farm back. They want to wait for some bigger objectives to come online to force a more decisive team fight where you can expect clearly more players to be together. And for now, they're just kind of playing the split farm game. I like having Lord and M forward on the map. He's just third-person scouting. It's going to be so hard to catch as the opener on Lash. Ooh, but Lash. Shiv. Lasso is big. Even a Shiv could get bursted down right this deep in, getting surrounded by all the players. Mina as well with the ultimate just rips it, and that's that one kill you were looking for. Now ABG under assault in the side lane. Does he have enough ability to outplay this? Can't quite get the swap off. And so it's just a 1-for-1, still favoring melee creeps for the moment. The hydration, Cooper both go down. Lord and number 2. Infernus running for his life, but any catch here will be devastating. And they're even able to pull the Mina back in somehow. I think this is the beginning of the end, Dan. Abrams rips the ult, just tries to run for the hills here, trying to get out, but Lash will not let them escape, will not let them retreat. And they've got even a wave coming in to that side lane here. Infernus desperately trying to push that lane out, desperately trying to prevent the creeps into the base, but I wonder if you can even just end through backdoor here.
Yeah, it certainly feels quite possible. League is isolated on the right side, so he's going to be careful not to get picks, but there we go. The Patreon is getting focus fired, and it looks like Sneaky Golem. Oh, the BM pause. The BM pause.
Hit him with it.
Oh, Infernus ulti, the huge Infernus ulti stuns the ball. Nah, there's no way. It's just too much damage here on the Patreon. And that's game 1. Going to melee creeps. Pretty compelling win there. DMB from start to finish, right? Took the lead early off the lane on the Wraith, and then just continued to get further and further ahead. And some creative moves from Sneaky Golem, some aggressive calls there, even when they were down in the mid game. But in the end, melee creeps with I would say a more unconventional draft, but they look to be having a cleaner read of the meta right now.
A rough start to the honeymoon phase, DDK. Sneaky Golems, half of the former Hydra Nation squad, half of the team that we saw challenge them a few weeks ago, falling short of their first game progress. Let's take a look here at what melee creeps did well, though, because they locked in Paradox first. Seemed like Saya was a player to watch, but not the only one. Was it a team effort? Was there a pop-off player? What were you watching, DDK?
I think for me, definitely a team effort, but I do actually think we really saw the value of first pick Paradox in this game, because there were so many scenarios where it was like that extra bit of initiation or the paradoxical swap coming in at the right moment that would just guarantee or secure kills. And this is exactly what you were saying, Jake, in the pregame when we were talking about, like, oh, you know, you got all these tanks and everything on Sneaky Golem's side. It looks kind of good. And then you were talking about the approach that melee creeps can just pick them apart with all of this initiation. The paradoxical swap is such a good peel, and it really worked out.
Yeah, not easy to execute by any means, but maybe the overcommitment on Billy and Abrams from Sneaky Golem just didn't pay dividends, right? These big, heavy frontliners aren't that strong when you're getting pulled apart. And I think the Wraith as well was able to have some pretty nice value in some of these team fights, right? Just finding that one big burst with the lift. And for the most part, they weren't able to ever connect towards that Wraith. She was able to play super safe in the back line with other players like, scouting out, starting the fight, whether it was Scout on the Calico or Lord NM spending a lot of time on the Lash, kind of getting that forward vision. And then DMB is just able to take these fights as he pleases. And with that kind of a lead, it's open and shut there for the melee creeps as they win a 1-0 victory here, going into that potentially final match here of the money match here in North America.
DDK, teach me how to read the stat sheet. I see 34 kills against 22. That seems to be a pretty good indicator of who's going to win.
Well, you've done it. Fuck it. A bigger number is better. You've already nailed it, and that's what it comes down to. But yeah, I think what we saw here is, obviously there's a lot of game planning around having League be, this damage carry on the Infernus, something that we've seen in the current meta. But I think League was just never really able to get going. And, you can see the damage across melee creeps is actually pretty even, despite the fact that, you've got DMB as like this gun carry and scout that can do so much damage. And regardless of all of that, it was a team effort because a lot of the invades and the team fighting that enabled all the kills to happen was a combination of all of these abilities to get these picks, to lock down these characters, for Scout to chase them down, which is something that Calico does so well. So yeah, a really good team effort from melee creeps, evident on the stat sheet here.
Jake, I saw a few people in the chat say, oh, Lefa's not on the team anymore. Finally, I can cheer for Hydra Nation. Well, now their name's Sneaky Golem. And for all those people that now plan to cheer for Sneaky Golem, they may be cheering for a losing team. If you were going to give any advice as someone who is a fan favorite on a losing team, how do you keep your fan base engaged and happy, Jake?
Look, you got to give the people what they want. I want to see maybe some more like player hero combos here for Sneaky Golem, like give people maybe a little bit more agency in the draft. I think overall the draft was solid. I can't complain too much. Maybe the Abrams Billy was a little bit of overinvestment in front line, but melee creeps just kind of went pretty heavy on giving people a lot of playmaking potential, just having faith that these picks are gonna make their value, right? If Paradox and Bebop, they're gonna find their initiations, they're gonna find their catches, and they did. And I think maybe for Sneaky Golem, they gotta take a page out of that book, put some more eggs in the playmaking basket here. I like the Mina, but I want to see more like Mina. I want to see more pick off and more those like tricky high mobility characters that let you kind of go toe to toe and dance in these key mid game fights.
If Goober got his goo, would we have a different result, TDK?
Hey man, it's possible. It's definitely possible, Pocket. I think I want to see it. I think we should see it. I know Goober has some tech, that if other people are maybe not thinking about. So it might. That's probably what we're gonna have to see it. We need to see it.
It's the night shift. We're about to get sticky, ladies and gentlemen. A quick break. When we come back, it is game number 2. It's a best of 3 for $1,000. Thanks to our friends at Intel. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We are the Puppet. Solomon is the puppeteer. You are watching Night Shift. It's a Deadlock show that Jake makes money off of. Let's talk a little bit about who's making money tonight, though, Jake, because during the break, we said it ain't going to be Hydra Nation's crew. The former trio that's coming off a dub broke up, and now they're down. Backs against the wall. They against the rope, son. They get knocked out here.
It's looking like Melee Creeps Day, but I won't count out Sneaky Golem just yet. I think they still made that game very, very close. It came down to a couple key fights that had just big consequences, able to get some big mid bosses for Melee Creeps, and they were able to snowball from there. But you know, Sneaky Golem showed some of that trademark ability to look for comeback fights, even when the game was pretty difficult, even when things were stacked against them. And so I do think they have a good chance here, but it needs to start with a solid draft.
DDK, do you have any big shows coming up?
Big shows? Maybe one that, has some gummies involved.
That's right.
Some worm-like gummies. I was eating worms when I was like 2.
Yeah.
I was getting them from the ground, though, Puckett.
They do it different in the UK. We got you all taken care of, though, now that you're an American, DDK. And I asked if you had any big shows coming up, because outside of the trolling ones, we have a Halloween episode, and there's a little rumor that if we get to 1,000 subs, that we might see DDK dress up as a character. So out of all the heroes, who do you think you would look best as?
No comment. Vindicta. Oh, I was thinking I could do a little Mina cosplay.
Well, Mina?
Do a Mina cosplay, Jake.
For the people.
I'll do Paige.
No, I won't leak it. I won't leak it. Top secret. That's top secret. That's classified.
Top secret. You guys got to pay for that information. You know how to do it. Thank you for all the gifteds on the night. Thank you for everyone who's using the primes on the resub. It's crazy. ZP said we have been doing Deadlock competitions for a year. I say we, but really I've just backpacked on the last 3 months of it. We've seen Sneaky Golem. We've seen Melee Creeps. I don't know which way this is going to go, but when Hydra Nation lost, they tended to do it in 2-0s. They fell apart. Losers. Melee Creeps will be without a Mina. Does that really impact their game here, Jake? What does that mean?
Mina's just a high pro hero, and I think Sneaky Golem with the first pick, maybe they don't want to take it first, which I think makes sense. I think Melee Creeps has to ban Kelvin here. I think we've seen just how strong Kelvin can be in so many different drafts. It forces the enemy team to take Shiv in the first 2. And it's so good at doing urns. It's so good for so many things. So yeah, you're going to have to force that first ban Kelvin. And so for Sneaky Golem, maybe they're going to take a first Paradox, and they just don't want to give up Mina to the other side in that top 2.
Kelvin gone. Snowbro has been first banned every single time tonight. He has not made it into competition for EU or NA. The S tier character is done in competitive Deadlock. But Paradox is going to be first picked back-to-back games. And last time they won. This time, though, it's in the hands of Sneaky Golem.
I want to see a Shiv pocket here. That's what I want to see.
Shiv it?
A Shiv pocket. Maybe, actually, GT is in the field. The GT adds some complexity. I think GT actually maybe does need to go in these first 2.
Yeah.
Bebop number 1.
Wow, that's interesting.
With a bullet, baby. Okay. All right. I see you. I see you made the creeps. They don't want to give up those initiators, really valuing the Bebop.
Oh, yeah. I mean, John John's Bebop has been absolutely massive. Back-to-back games. Bebop definitely got a bit of a benefit from the recent patch too. There's that Shiv you're talking about.
Okay. They still get the Shiv. I like Shiv right now. I think Shiv is just goated this patch. And this is with Kelvin permaban. I mean, which I think is crazy. It shows that if Kelvin ever does get through a draft, man, you do not want to have that game Shiv Kelvin on. That's a scary prospect to go up against.
So if Shiv was your must-have, what do you do on the other side for Sneaky Golem? Is there another to balance that out? Pocket is the one you call.
This is why I like the Shiv Pocket top 2, because Pocket has a very nice matchup into Shiv. Not only you have the case, you can dodge the execute, and mostly just like so much mobility on Pocket. It's so hard for Shiv to ever really get on top of you and get those slice and dice damage bursts into you. So a tough matchup for Shiv. Not the end of the world. I mean, you can kind of just ignore the Pocket and do your own thing.
Ooh.
Sticky Icky for the goo.
There we go.
All right.
Yes, sir. Welcome in, Goober.
And think about this. we talked about, okay, can Sneaky Golem just up the playmaking, up the individualism of their comp? And they've done that. I mean, all three of these picks, very, very high individual skill, sort of pop-off potential heroes. I like this. You know, your back's against the wall. You got to put the ball in your player's court and believe that they're going to be able to get these outplays.
Yeah,
I feel like Melee Creeps have to ban Infernus here, right?
You'd think so. I agree. I think Infernus would be sick against Shiv, Abrams, and Bebop. So I would like to see Infernus banned.
Not happening.
Unless, who comes out of this with the first pick? I think it is it Melee Creeps? They could still take Infernus?
Come on, put us in a fight.
They could. Oh, they opt to get rid of Mo.
I feel like they need to block pick it, though. I think you're right. It's like...
can we guys just pause and celebrate McTitty Sprinkles 3539? Thank you for the prime sub. McTitty Sprinkles 3539.
Our favorite
Thank
subscriber.
you for 2 months of prime subbing here on
You
Deadlock.
try not to play
Continue.
favorites, but it's hard. It's hard.
It's got the best numbers.
Calico
Calico
ban.
gets banned.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised to see a Calico ban. I feel like there's so much frontline already on Melee Creeps. Do they really want to get the Calico? But maybe it's just a problem. You just don't want to have to deal with that. Scout's been such a playmaker on the Calico and so sick on the lanes.
Okay, well, here's where we would see the block pick Infernus if that's going to happen. And Yamato comes in instead. So that gives Sneaky Golem the Infernus. But maybe they will take something else.
This is like a big and brawlic team comp from Melee Creeps, man. Like, there's 3 heavy frontliners plus Bebop. Like, they're not dodging a damn thing. They are just going to soak all that damage. I feel like this is the Dream Infernus game. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe Infernus gets, like, just bowled over. But I think Sneaky Golem, especially with Viscous behind, able to kind of save Infernus, which typically that's the problem with Infernus, right? You just get, like, stunned and bursted down. People get on top of you. But there's a lot of defense. There's a lot of initiation here with, like, Pocket able to start these fights, scout people out. I wouldn't mind seeing maybe a Billy here. Is that too crazy?
Is Great Talent a good fit on either side? I feel like that's normally a high priority pick that we're not seeing.
But I think for Melee Creeps, yeah, I think I'd love to see them get a GT here. Because you have these sick frontliners, you have Bebop, and what would be better than somebody with monster damage from the backline to kind of be that glass cannon, making use of all the space created here. That being said, True. I don't mind Wraith either. I don't mind Wraith at all. I think they're maybe wanting for one of those like long range backline damage dealers, whichever direction they want to go. Vindicta's sort of similar to that and can also set these initiators up, right? Like stake people down so that you actually do connect on them with your Yamato and your Shiv.
It's got to be GT, right? It has to be GT. I feel like it's got to be GT.
It would be good.
He's still got so much. He's got this much utility to the GT just outside of like the crazy burst.
It's good against Pocket, I think, generally. Actually, I'm not sure about that, but I guess Wraith it is. Wraith has definitely come back into favor. I do love the Victor pick, though. I want to highlight this, that I think Victor is a really powerful when you have a massive investment in frontliners on the opposing team, because I think Victor wants to fight with those, other frontliners. He wants to go toe-to-toe with Abrams and Yamato and Shiv and like tank all their skills and just live forever with the E shift and heal through stuff. And the Warden, another hero that has really fallen off in the last few weeks, but another hero that loves to battle against these heavy frontliners, right? A triple frontliner running at him, that's just one more target for your lifesteal, right? So I like this Warden, and I wonder if this is not a hydration Warden, a timeless classic here on the night shift.
There are our squads. Sneaky Golem, Melee Creeps. Jake says Melee Creeps has the better comp or worse comp?
Oh, this is close. I like Sneaky Golem's draft. I want to see Sneaky Golem take it because I want to see this go to a game 3. And I also think Victor, Warden, Infernus are really powerful tools to deal with this heavy frontliner setup here from Melee Creeps. And Melee Creeps doesn't have that much mobility to kite away from Victor and Warden chasing you down, or Infernus and Pocket chasing you down. So I think this is a Sneaky Golem game. I think they're going to take it to 3.
DDK, yes, you are that guy from Counter-Strike, right? Confirmed?
Yes, confirm.
Yeah,
confirm.
Okay, chat, he is that guy from Counter-Strike. Drink Slurm just hit us with a sub after saying, oh, Jake and Puckett, many great owl memories. Here's to a new sick game. Cheers, brother. Thank you for joining us on the night shift. We're already a few deep, so you can catch up. We're jumping in to game number 2. This is our NA final. EU's already done, and now we find out who's going to wear the crown in North America. Hydra Nation. They're coming off a dub. They blew up their team. A few people are angry about it. The other 3, they're smiling right now because they're in a final, but they're kind of feeling weird because they're down against melee creeps, and normally they beat up on those guys in the challenger match. DDK, are we going to a 3-game? Do you agree with Mr. Jake here?
I agree with Jake is close, and I agree with Jake that I also like what Sneaky Golem have in terms of the draft to deal with melee creeps. But I feel like what we saw in the first game, the challenger game, is that melee creeps actually showed good adaptation when they were like essentially being countered. And so I don't know. I feel like it's close. I do favor Sneaky Golem slightly in the draft. And I think the thing for me is actually Pocket. I think the Pocket could get out of hands or could get out of pocket in this game, because I feel there's so much other stuff to worry about that for me, it looks like it could just be a really nice game for Pocket. He's able to escape a lot of the heroes pretty effectively. There's not as much like lockdown, like inherent lockdown for him, at least in the early to mid game, that you'd have to worry about. So I don't know. I feel like Sneaky Golem will be really nice here, and for me, I'm looking at the Pocket play.
Jake, when's the last time you found money in your pocket that came out of a dryer?
Oh man, that's like a daily, weekly occurrence for me. Every load of laundry.
This guy carries cash.
Just like
Dang,
a buck or two,
impressive.
you know.
All right, it's been like since 2018. I only roll around with a cell phone. Tried to buy something today. They're like, "Do you have your ID, sir?" I was like, "I do not. Can I show you a photo of it?" And they're like, "No, you can't do that. That's not how it works in America." Anyway, back to the game's Phantom Vibes. We appreciate your sub. I'm told the players are almost done pooping. Make sure to wipe, wash your hands, use the bubbles, get that soap off, and get ready to game. We got Wraith versus Boredom, a Victor versus Vindicta. It's going to get wild in here, but the Yamato had someone in particular very excited. Their very first time chat, all caps, Radical 3D for Yamato Chosen One. What do we need to know? Jake, is it that good of a character? Why is he all fired up, bro?
I like this melee creeps roster. You know, for me, this is a comp that wants to play from ahead. Not only are Vindicta and Bebop both the type of initiators that aren't that good when they're falling behind, right? That can be jumped on and punished. In contrast to things like Paradox and Holiday that I think are a little bit harder to just chase them down. And also these big frontliners, Yamato, Shiv, heroes that really want to be ahead of the game. They want to be able to jump in with a bunch of burst damage, get these kills off, get the executes for Yamato, get kills before Shadow Transformation ends. And I think Sneaky Golem have the tools to kind of outlast that. They've got the Victor with the shocking reanimation. They've got Warden ulti that is just so hard to quickly burst down. Viscous and Pocket, you know, not Viscous can save everybody. Pocket can kind of, you know, pump that damage and still get out. And so honestly, I just think Sneaky Golem have answered the draft super well. And I think this will be a little bit of a tougher game for melee creeps. That being said, hey, if they win the lanes, if they just come out hot, Vindicta and Bebop start roaming and DMB's Wraith is just overfarmed, like for all that intelligent drafting for Sneaky Golem, it could just come falling apart. In the end, this is Deadlock. It's a game of immense skill.
North America, start the game. UK. I don't know.
Okay, do you always wipe? I feel like you like to live a life on the edge. You like to take a risk here and there. Some days.
Any bidet enjoyers? Any bidet enjoyers here?
Yeah, if you're not sprinkling some water up there, DDK, I feel like you're a filthy animal. It's 2025. Like we got machines for that stuff. You should be using your own hands. Anyway,
hey, that's actually. I never thought about that. You know, once the robots like come into my life, you know, I got that little robot in the dishes. Maybe it can wipe for me too.
I don't want it to. Okay, you know, in that order, please.
I was talking to the humanoids are coming and they don't wash their fingers. The Sneaky Golems, though, try to pull out their middle one against the melee creeps. It's game 2. Ding, ding, mother ducks.
All right, let's get into it. Melee creeps up 1-0. They want to. This is Sparta kick Sneaky Golem into a death pit. But Sneaky Golem clinging on to the edge here, clinging on for dear life. And I think they found the draft that puts their players in position to succeed, in position to show what they've got on an individual basis. If this is not a hydration Warden, I will be incredibly disappointed. We talked about trying to give him maybe a more comfortable player hero combo, let him really pop off in this game, and I think he's done that.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's totally a different situation to the last game in terms of some of the playmakers and stuff that are present. So it could be such a different look here. Super interested to see how it's going to turn out. But of course, here we go. We're going to have to assess these early lanes first of all to see which team will start off with that edge on the macro. And already got some fun action here on the mid lane. This is where the Warden and Paradox combo is going to be for Sneaky Golem. So definitely a big focal point. And you got Vindicta on the other end of things in Yamato. Do you have like a favored combo here, Jake?
I like Warden and Paradox into Yamato. I think Yamato could have a pretty scary game here, especially with these flask spam. It's actually going to be hydration on the Victor. Okay, I see the vision here with the ABG on the Warden. But I think Warden really nice into this Yamato. It's kind of an easy hero to hit with the flasks. And you can just kind of spam those out. And I think for Yamato to go for, you know, those power strikes rather, is pretty difficult. Ooh, some nice denies there on the lane already for Paradox.
Headshot booster, a pretty common item to keep the pressure on. It's kind of like, you know, reminds me, reminiscent of like Mystic Shot, like some of these items that just kind of guarantee that you get some more burst damage that come up pretty quickly. Paradox pretty just living life to the max here, like standing on the bridge. No one's even shooting at him. Rocket's just having a great time.
That carbine stopped the Yamato enough so he couldn't get into range for the power slash. Pretty big. And the Victor, I think this also seems like a hydration hero to me, like the unkillable build. That seems, I like that vision for hydration. He's able to maybe start the fight off, take a bunch of the aggression. Goober with that cube just tanked through everything, just blocked a complete slate of spells from the opposition. Shiv, Bebop Shiv going for a kind of a greedier build, saving up for probably a Mystic Shot first. And a quick pause here, coming out to just slow things down, give him an opportunity to rest, relax, grab a snack, maybe grab some trolleys, get your worms going, get those calories in. Got to stay energized. It's a long series.
How do you say energized, Puckett? You do a good job.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot of work, boys. Lots of squats here in between games. Solomon watches me lift weights and eat burritos most of the time.
Nice. At the same time? Is that the move?
Oh, if you're not lifting burrito weights, you're not doing it right.
That does seem really efficient. You should write a book.
Love a burrito, man.
Can't read, can't write. It's gonna be tough. But audiobooks, we're in. Oh, speaking of, my daughter literally just delivered me a burrito. Solomon, can we get a picture-in-picture? This is not a lie. Do you hear that? That's a Chipotle bag, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Thank you, Piper. You're the best. Back to you guys.
All right. This mid lane for Saya, this is going to be a real test for him, right? Trying to hold on to this tower, and it's going down fast, man. Already down to half HP. These flasks just pouring it on here. Saya going with the monster rounds, but still not able to clear these creep waves in time. Goober, see what he can do on his signature Viscous. Has that Mystic Burst. I mean, this hero does a kind of a monstrous amount of damage here in the lane.
So Jake, I know that for Goober, he's been trying to make a specific item work, or at least he's been kind of leading the way. What is Goober doing or trying to do that people haven't caught onto yet? If you know what I'm talking about.
What was he trying to build? Is it like a blood tribute or something? That's the item I've seen a lot of people try to work into. But on Viscous, I don't know if it's a blood tribute type of a game. Maybe. Seems like more of a you know, gun type item. Doing a lot of damage here. Should just cube and block this by. I mean, the trading potential against Bebop in particular is so good. Oh, parries the creep. Both baiting each other, expecting the parry to come in.
Love the mind games on that one.
I mean, Viscous able to just tank really all the aggression in the lane, and that's letting Rocane. I mean, he's going to go monster rounds most likely into Majestic. That's what we see Pocket do. We're at the highest level these days. It's just a very hard rush into that Majestic Leap, so he's able to start trading super aggressively using the Majestic Leap shields. Probably the best user of that item in the game. And already 2,000, so he's like more than halfway there.
Well, Infernus on League, hopefully hoping to have a better game this time around. I think that's probably likely. I think the issue in the previous game was I feel like League never got to be in a situation where he wasn't under pressure. So should be better in that respect. And looking like they're having a pretty good lane. The Victor Infernus combo seems pretty annoying. They grab those bridge buffs.
Oh, wait, did he overplay that one? Looks like a big fight here. Both bridge buffs being contested. Bebop caught. Stuck in the corner there and gets cleaned up. Hydration, though. Maybe the same fate. He's going to pop that shocking reanimation, though. Be back in the fight, and Saya just doesn't want to stick around for that one. Long cooldown ultimate, though, so pretty good value to get rid of that in the early game. And Abrams wants to punish him. He knows he was coming back to that lane. Going to force him away from the creeps there. Deny some of that XP. But meanwhile, Guardian goes down. And DMB pays the price with his life, too. This is a much harder game for the Wraith. Isn't nearly in that commanding position that he was in the last game. It's actually Sneaky Golem into a nice 3K lead here this early in the game. Warden under pressure now. ABG has the ultimate, though, if he wants to rip it. Got to be a little bit careful on Yamato. Even with that Shadow Transform, I don't think you're going to win that 1v1.
Yeah, big pressure from melee creeps on the left side lane at the moment. So that might be the only lane that's going remotely their way. The Shiv and Bebop combination.
Affliction plus Kubal. A little bit extra damage. A lot of damage coming in. Oh, the knockup is good on the Bebop there. Super low, trying to escape deep under the tower here. See if there's a dive coming in there. I don't think they're going to let these guys live. Oh, Bebop slipping away is nice for now. Getting a little bit of extra support here on the lane. And Lasso deep under the tower, but oh, he committed for that execute just as Goober went for that cube and just has to go in, has to do what kind of counter damage he can. Across the map, Sneaky Golem pouring it on. Melee keeps struggling under the pressure. I don't think you can fight this. Yeah, like, this is Warden. He wants that smoke, even under the Guardian.
Yeah, really big damage there onto the tower. Sneaky Golem looking real nice at the moment. Looking to get a 650 tower potentially. Looks like that's going to go down. There we go. And still not too far ahead on the souls. Only 2k, so it seems like the bleeding is it's a controlled bleed at the moment for melee creeps. But they are under a lot of pressure at the moment. Melee creeps looking to try to see what they can get in return. So they're going to find that mid Guardian. So able to trade it back. So even though it is absolutely, as you kind of mentioned already, Jake, like a very much different game, early game, and a more difficult one for melee creeps. So it looks like they're doing a decent job holding on, closing the gap a little bit in souls. Now we've got the roam here coming through. Here comes Scout.
Spare buff Yamato. Really threatening. He's able to get one big power strike in. Doesn't find it there. And ooh, that's not the fight you necessarily want here on the Yamato. Instead, they're just going to try and prio down this tower. But Victor putting a lot of counter pressure on. Yeah, you're going to be forced to ult just to secure this tower. And I don't know if you're even going to get... Okay, you do get the tower, but are you going to be able to get out with your life here? Yeah, Infernus. Oh, and he read that. He read the melee a mile away there. Super early parry from League, but Scout just couldn't help himself.
And I like how he could have just shot him, meleeed him, but decided to run around in the flame dash just to make it more cinematic.
he's running circles on him, he's styling on him. And now Infernus in his happy place, straight to the jungle, 8-minute immediate cult sack. See if he goes and grabs it, eats a big creep here. Wants to get those maximum souls. And I mean, this is exactly what you want in Infernus, right? Cult sack online, tons of jungle to clear. The rest of your team, they're playing the game. You're playing PvE, baby. You're playing Farmville here.
Yeah, and that's so again, like, it wasn't really what was possible in the first game. So this is already like a very big difference, and it's going to be hard for melee creeps to come back in on this. And before they had the paradox, they had ways to kind of punish the jungling. So I mean, they've done a good job in at least clearing a couple of these early guardians, but we still got one guardian left to kill for either team. It's on that left lane, still hotly contested. As we see, AVG getting some of that farm here. This is double sinners on the Sneaky Golem side of the map. This is his side of the map. And Goober and Rocker, they've been so dangerous. Looking for this Guardian now.
Yeah, the last Guardian. Both Guardians up on that left side of the map. Surprised to see that. Pocket. Ooh, getting assaulted though. You get caught if you can't get out of this one. Okay, ooh. The cloak is going to be good enough. Those Shiv bleeds are kind of scary though, right? Preventing you from using that Majestic Leap. It's a little bit awkward there. Brocane is able to back off and get the heal. And it seems like this Guardian, not long for this world, but the Bebop Laser protects it for the moment. Goobal forced out already, and Goober all in basically on the damage dealing for the moment here. Makes sense in the early game. This is a hero that just wants to snowball games and kind of just progress things as quickly as possible.
Got that early Veil Walker online for Fishcake. Even though the item got nerfed a little bit, and the heal amount and so on, it's still really, really good. And here we go in for the dive, slice and dice. Very low Rocker. Oh, still a bit too much HP for the killing blow. He's not going to get the assassination. But where's the trade? The cube on in, and there's a melee. No, great parry actually, but it wasn't an instant melee. I would have fallen for that, but Fishcake certainly doesn't. Gets the kills all secured. Maybe more damage to be had. Finding Goober here, trying to make the escape. The Mr. Google is going to be secure, and we get those right clicks there for a little bit of extra momentum for that extra escape velocity. And The urn is now being ferried across by Lord and M of melee creeps.
I think there's going to be appetite for a fight here. Sneaky Golem. They do have that concussive combustion. Abrams, pretty poor on this Abrams, right? Only just a little bit under 8K. Looks like a little Discord, little comms issue here as we assess the status of the game. I do think Sneaky Golem, they want to put some more pressure on the left side of the map, but at the same time, they have to think about the urn contest. So maybe that's going to be the trade here. If Melee Creeps grab the urn, maybe Sneaky Golem grab that last Guardian. I think you'd probably be pretty happy about that trade for Melee Creeps, but they still had 2 players in position to defend the Guardian, so they really aren't committing too many resources to an urn turn-in just yet.
Yeah, and it's actually a really nice tempo on the game at the moment, and I like that. Despite the fact that Melee Creeps have been struggling a little bit compared to the first game, they're still finding their ways to kind of keep up and not let things get too far out of hand. But with that said, you know, we start to see some of that power that AVG has with the Last Stand, some of the power that we see out of the pocket on Ricane, and also League he's doing very well on the farm. 11k, with just like you said, the 8-min cult stack is going exactly as planned for him so far. But it is these 2 Guardians now to go down the left side, whilst the Walker is at risk on the right side. Sneaky Golems, are they going to lose this Walker?
Infernus is here, trying to get some kind of defense off, right? It has put the burn on DB, has proc that shield, so DB's got to be a little bit careful. Has gone a very damage-heavy build here, doesn't have levels there in the blink to make a reliable escape, so just a little bit of Walker damage, not much to really meaningfully progress anything there.
Yeah, it has those extra resistances before the 15-minute mark, right? So I got a little bit overexcited.
ABG pretty invested in the ultimate for now. I think this is likely going to be that all-in Spirit Warden. Just an incredibly powerful ulti, as we talked about during that draft. The challenge for Scout and Fishcake on the Yamato and Shiv, respectively, to be able to, you want to come in, you want to dive super aggro, and you don't really have, you have kind of one bite at the apple, right? On especially Yamato, you kind of go in, commit the ult, go all in. But sometimes Warden just overpowers you, especially if he's in a net worth lead. That's exactly the type of fight ABG is going to want in this game. It's going to be probably a while till ABG gets that Majestic Leap and, really turns up the pressure on the opposition. Lord and M, though, forced to pin just to try to escape for now, but it's so annoying. These goober punches from Viscus, really problematic. He has to Abrams ult to get away from this. That's going to keep him alive for the moment, but see if the rest of the Melee Creeps players are able to come in and collapse. Looks like League backed off after that trade. Neither team, of course, wants to make a big error here at this point in the game.
Yeah, Rocco sent away. And that damage inside. King of the Skies, just being annoying. It's just a housefly. It's just annoying, not really able to do too much though. And these lanes getting cleared up, but you can see that Melee Creeps, they're having to defend these lanes pretty close to their walkers. So they are working on pushing those out. And at the same time, some movement here. Potential fight brewing on the right side of the map here. Guba making his way forward. We've got a lot of players from both sides actually starting to congregate towards the right side lane.
Yeah, this is the makings of a big fight here. League on Infernus. Surrounded. Gooball, though, that pulls Goober out of this one, and League's actually just hiding in the corner of the map. Goober even survives the execute. He's going to be able to back off all the way to spawn. Oh, wait, he's going to bleed to death. It's so close. Oh my god, on 10 HP. There's a momentary power play on the map, though. And oh, that forces that Yamato ulti. This is the Warden ulti over the top. I just don't think you have the strength. You can't escape him. He's just staying right on top of you. And even the swap in on the low ground. Nice movement from ABG to keep him constantly in that radius. And they're able to kill off the Yamato. See if there's a counterplay across the map, right? There's 2 players committed and both their ultimates off the field. There's a little bit of a moment for Melee Creeps that they want to strike back. Seems like it's Rocane who actually wants more into this one, wants to continue this pressure.
Barrage looking to find something. Fishing a bit.
Tuproc's not bad. Just harassing, though. Just being annoying, threatening the possibility for a hard dive engage here. Spocket has a lot of shielding too, right? Like deceptively hard to kill, especially with that silence. He's gonna be able to play his way out of a lot of these fights. And that's also gonna make things a lot scarier for players like DMB in particular, right? Who might be relying on his ulti or blinking out. And if you get caught with the silence, like no one's gonna have a debuff remover this early in the game. I mean, Fishcake and Scout probably will be buying it at some point, but it's not one you want to invest in here like pre 15 minutes.
And bridge bouts are coming up in a second here, as well as the next turn. The 15-minute turn is usually a lot more hotly contested. So we'll see if these teams decide to really go for that one. Looks like on the minimap that melee creeps got their way to the right side bridge first.
Big fight on the right
side.
Yeah, they're going to be contesting it. Almost assuredly. Paradox baited out from that engage, slipped away for the moment for the Abrams, and maybe they're going to be happy enough to just survive out of this one. Slayer over the top has used that flight. And ABG kind of sneaking up here on the low ground. I think both teams want a fight here, but Pocket could find a big affliction. He's got this great vision from the high ground. The swap in. Abrams ulting out for now. The roll is devastating here from the goo ball, but Shiv still has the execute. Nonetheless, he's chasing him down. He has that affliction on Shiv. He should be cooking down from this one. 2 kills on the board for both teams here. Shiv eventually falls apart. ABG with the ulti. He's gonna have to fall back. Isn't able to get any more out of this. And it's a 3 for 2. So a slight win for Sneaky Golem. Not anything to write home about, but in the end, hey, net 1 kill. Not a bad sign.
Rocket might actually give up this urn though. Is he going to go all the way? It's not safe at all. So, okay, they don't have lane control, so he's going to play it passively. I don't see a world where he's going to get picked off here. So, okay, there's a second I was worried that he's just beelining it, thinking that they will be clear, but I'm just going to be held on to, just denied for the time being by Sneaky Golem. And they'll clean up that lane as well. So they might be able to get control of that lane to enable a turn in, but they've completely abandoned the urn at this point. And look how deep melee creeps are into the jungle, the enemy jungle right now. They're looking for picks.
Yeah, and they want to fight, right? They know all these key ultis are down. The Sneaky Golem comp is very reliant on ultis. I don't think Sneaky Golem want this action, at least not for the next, let's say, 30 seconds, right? The Warden ulti is going to be crucial. Warden and Pocket, I mean, without those ultis, I just don't think you're taking a fight. So for now, they're content to just hold this urn hostage around mid. And, I mean, in this draft for Sneaky Golem, when the ults are down, you are pretty happy. Just playing things slow, trading farm. You really don't need to do too much, but with that urn pickup disabled here, it's going to kind of walk back pretty far. By the same token, you really need to hold on to the urn because you couldn't really take a fight if melee creeps were able to pull that urn and threaten a turn. I think they'd be able to get it. But now ABG Rokane going to have those key ultimates back online. Paradox losing HP from holding this urn though, so it'll be far from an easy one as Yamato maybe looks to threaten here and is going to be able to get that urn drop. Free kill bursting down Paradox. Great catch there. Scout lays a trap, claps it shut. Seems like Pocket is able to play his way out of this one. Does get a pretty large affliction, but still 2 players already down. Warden even ripped the ulti. I don't think he's getting any value out of this. Okay, no, it is Fishcake caught and trapped in. Now are they going to be able to stop the urn? Yes, they are. Goober commits the roll. Yamato has no interest in trying to force this one.
Pretty sketchy situation. Interestingly, in the meantime, you know, DMB has been farming up on the Wraith in the enemy jungle on the right side of the map, whilst all this attention's been going on towards the left side of the map. So because the urn's not going to ultimately be turned in, it actually has created space for DMB to extend his solely just ever so slightly. And if you look at the difference on the farm, yeah, DMB's on that 20k. Okay, the urn is going to be the puddle punch.
It's a max puddle punch.
It's a heavy melee.
It's going to take a long time, but they have so many players here. I don't know if they're going to be able to fight this. League, does he want to go for the ultimate? They get the urn drop in, and League, got caught too deep there. Too many players. Melee creeps brought everyone. Knew that they'd have to commit on the fight, and getting there is one thing, but being able to also at the same time find that late game carry for Sneaky Golem is a really big win for them.
In addition to that, you know, DMB is just getting further and further ahead because the comparable souls is AVG and League, but I don't know, DMB is going to scale really, really nicely into the late game. And the pressure right now has been pretty nice from melee creeps. As you say, you know, these ults being available, really, really key for Sneaky Golem for these fights. Melee creeps seem pretty well aware of that.
And Pocket not having the explosive game that he would have hoped for. Still going to be a presence, especially with that affliction. And especially given the matchup, he's able to find that on, you know, hopefully a few tanky frontliners. But now the question arises, who's going to deal with DMB? You don't have great answers for a Wraith sitting in the back. And so I think DMB getting hugely overfarmed here is the dream scenario. John finds a hook. They do silence him. Does he have the cloak out in time? Yes, he does. Okay, the duration is just long enough. And thanks to that reactive barrier, he didn't even take any damage from that trade.
The next turn and bridge buffs are coming up in 30 seconds. So we saw what happened on the previous one. You know, this will be even more hotly contested. And the problem is that the respawn times are longer, so mid-boss could be a prize after a big team fight for the team that wins it. Abrams in danger there towards that bridge buff location. So a lot of posturing around these two positions.
I see Yamato.
Hook missed in mid. League starts to clear some creeps though. So the creep priority gives a bit of space now for melee creeps. Ultimate. Is he going to be committed here from the Warden? Instead, he just wants to fall back, grab that life buff. I think Warden, the tankiness here, also having that Mercurial Magnum. Now has a lot of sources of damage, right? Max Flask, maxed ulti. ABG is a massive threat in these fights. It's going to be really challenging. But at the same token, if he has a bad ulti and, you know, just gets completely kited, you're going to be in real trouble given how dependent you are on it. With the Yamato ulti down, though, there's a case to be made for Goober going for this one. He has a majestic leap on Viscous here. This is the first time I think I've ever seen that build. I kind of like it. It's kind of sick for like flying into the back line and getting those big melees in. Sometimes Viscous has a problem getting those connections. But when you're holding the urn, it does look a little bit silly.
And it's kind of interesting right now because, you know, melee creeps are kind of controlling and like dictating the macro. You know, they've got all this map control. Look how deep they are into the enemy positions on the left side. Now they're, you know, getting coverage, you know, cleaning up that wave on the right side, making the Untunnin less safe.
Look at that Walker go. Walker 9.5. Abrams ulti as well committed. Oh, this is a little bit risky. Yeah, you're not going to even stun the Infernus, but they're just nuking down the Walker. They do find it. The pin in. Are they going to stick in? League has to back out for the moment. Abrams, though, ooh, is he able to take this one on? Has that backing of the Wraith behind him, and I mean, just frontlining there proves to be very valuable. Sneaky Golem just can't stand toe-to-toe. You give DMB just a little bit of an opening to start pressuring down a Walker, and you're in real trouble. Power Slash is good, but... Ooh, this one's very close. Paradox wants to fall back. He's able to get to his teammates here. Oh, and Goober is able to do a lot here, rolling in. This Yamato has no ulti for a few more seconds, or 2 more seconds. Is going to have to back off, and Paradox does go down. But I think Sneaky Golem may want to stay into this fight. They've got 5 players here. The trap is good. And Shiv caught dead to rights. Just the follow-up from ABG, even without the ulti. And even now, John in trouble. Yeah, more kills. This could be a mid-boss. We're at the face of the game where a mid-boss goes down pretty quick. And look, Sneaky Golem immediately beelining that objective. Even with creeps pushing on the mid lane. I mean, this is very risky. This is greedy. There's a chance for Yamato to maybe even clutch this one out. Uber's super low. This is a scary one. And forcing that reanimation as well.
Oh, I don't know, Jake. They are threatening it. They're going to commit into it. The mid boss, everyone comes off of it to try to deflect this offense into the mid boss position, and it's not looking all that bad right now for Sneaky Golem. A few players getting low, but still everybody's up right now, and that's what counts. And they're forcing back all of them. Every single one of melee creeps is just falling at this point, and they are just stuck outside the mid boss now. And everybody is still up. They're quite low, so they might abandon it, but that's a decent trade for them.
Yeah, 2 kills. And if you're able to get out with your lives, you're going to be feeling very happy about this one. Rocker in very deep, though. Yeah, doesn't want to take this on 1vx here. And the fact that the
has Goober died yet, guys? I've seen his health go down to like 10 HP 3 times.
We got to check the stats on this. He is having a solid game here on the Viscous. 5, 1, and 4. I mean, great stats. Knockdown being attempted here. Paradox gets that set up. Swap in on Bebop. A pretty ideal target here. Here's the follow-up coming in. ABG over the top with the ultimate. Swarming over the top. DMB goes down. The most important pick comes in for Sneaky Golem here as they look to take a commandingly 2 massive kills. Great setup there from Rocker. And the follow-up is good. Now, surely a mid-boss to be taken here. The rest of the team very healthy, and Sneaky Golem, immaculate play around the mid, not overplaying their hand, pushing away DMB, and then still surviving, still getting the kills around the mid. Now they get the decisive team fight. Now they get that easy crystal farm. Attempt for the contest here. Abrams coming in, but he's stunned out of the air. Can't even get a single crystal
as much
stolen.
As possible. Every region has been collected. Yeah, everyone's going, just getting decimated. Oh no, it's a complete team wipe. Jake, this mid-boss, the mid-boss shenanigans really truly have not looked to work out at all for melee creeps. And they were ahead the entire game until I feel like until the last couple of minutes.
This is looking very much like a game 3 here, as that's a huge amount of farm now for AVG, who is just explosively ahead of the game here. 33k on Warden, and Warden, a hero that's been, I mean, unpicked for how long? Like seriously, no one has been playing Warden for quite a while. Sneaking on, showing that hey, every character still has a place. You give me enough tanky frontliners to lifesteal off, and Warden can still be a top tier late game carry. And Infernus, all damage. He's got damage and movement. Those are his items. And okay, yeah, he's got a reactive barrier. That's his defense. Suppressor is my defense item. I like that build. And he's gonna have another 6K. I wonder if it's like a boundless or what's the item choice here for Infernus. I would like to see him maybe have a little bit of survivability, maybe like an E shift or something to help him out. Help him out if he does get caught.
And you get HP from boundless. Come on.
Let's go blue.
It's a good point. Get HP from boundless.
Let's see.
Let's see what he buys. Leash. Ooh,
There you go.
all right. The best defense, baby. And an attempt at right side, maybe a fight breaking out. I mean, a lot of Reju crystals on the board, but you got to be careful. Maybe the creeps, they have a comeback earn. These kills are far from free. But look at hydration in with the E shift, man. He's such a problem. Pulling a ton of attention to himself. He has that reanimation. Not scared of potentially getting caught into a fight, as it looks like they want to double down, and a big ultimate over the top. This is exactly what ABG was hoping for. That lasso, the tether rather, does keep him away for the moment. But it's Victor holding the torch here, continuing to dive into the front line. League pops that first Reju crystal. Many of the creeps, only 4 players alive. It's a big affliction, maybe on 4 there. Scout has to pop that ultimate, has to try to survive. The only kill they found so far is just hydration on that reanimation. Still has that Reju crystal. Scout almost assuredly dead to rights here. DMB super low as well. Is Viscous able to get these finished off? A couple kills would be massive. The connection is good from Goober. DMB on real 1 HP. He's gonna go in for this. Oh my God, DMB, he has to wait in the gate fog. Goober's in the cube, holding him in the spawn. What the heck is this? He's in the fountain. I've never seen this. He's keeping him trapped in there. Oh, the fortitude heal though. The fortitude heal. The fountain doesn't see him here. This is so huge. DMB can't heal because of this.
That's so ridiculous, man.
Oh my God, that is a nasty tech. I didn't know there was a spot you could stand in the fountain where the guns don't shoot you. Yoshi, please fix.
You trust Scuba to find the tech, man. Oh my God.
Scroll.
Okay.
Lightning scroll. Just go game 3, baby. Lightning scroll.
Spirit burn as well. Oh, there's the pain. Because I was gonna say, like, before the end of that last fight, I felt like they got like 20-30k. So like the effect, like even though it said 192 to 140k, 46, like effectively, I don't think they bought up for like most of those souls in the difference, but certainly have now. So about to roll over the rest of this game here. Melee creeps looking to get absolutely destroyed now.
Shiv in real trouble. Fishcake bleeding out. Dies to hydration. The front line overwhelming here. Big parry out of Infernus. Parries the quick melee out of Abrams. Read him like a bedtime story. And he's going to game 3, baby. The patron already weakened. AVG just doing God's work, putting the cleanup in. Oh, stop. Just a little. Hey, who started it?
Marinating it.
Think about it. Give him a little time. Give him a little time to evaluate their strategy. As we're going into one more draft here in NA for all the marbles. It's Melee Creeps taking on Sneaky Golem to game 3.
All right, can we give a MVP award to AVG for the post-game trash talk? We saw a sorry by accident. AVG response just like Lord NM's birth. Ridiculous.
A trash talk.
Ridiculous
award.
level of escalation right there. AVG 2 points. It's now 1-1. We're going to game 3. I'm excited, Jake.
It's a big game, Puckett. A big game. We've had the manner pauses. We've had a 1-to-1 comeback. We've had 2 solid drafts from both teams. And now we go to the decider match for all the marbles. I guess you'd give a slight edge to Melee Creeps because, they do have the first pick advantage here if they want it in this one, which I think they do. I think a lot of the teams are preferring to get first pick now. But will it be enough?
Why is that, do you think?
I think it's because of Kelvin. I think because Kelvin is like the definitive best hero in the game right now.
Everyone has to ban him.
It forces the team who has second pick to ban Kelvin every time. So they almost like don't get a ban and then you get to pick something else. So you just have more control over the draft by taking that first pick.
And people seem to
Let's take a look at the best moments here. DDK, who had the early lead in this one? Or was it Sneaky Golems out of the gates?
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting again because I felt like, to my surprise, it felt like a really rough early game for Melee Creeps. And there was a point where they were kind of falling behind, but they managed to, into the mids game again, just like kind of macro their way up into advantage. And it felt like, again, their macro was overall kind of better. But then when it came down to, one of those, like the fight before the mid boss, suddenly the game just absolutely flipped. And we really started to see, you know, AVG, I think, being super integral in those fights with the last stand. And at that point, it was just like never looking back. And all of the issues that League was having trying to get farm, that Rocane was having being so far behind on Pocket, it didn't really matter anymore.
Jake, I mean, when I'm looking through the highlights here, I was going to say, it seems kind of one-sided in the late game team fights. Is there a character that you need to ban out, though? Is there like a shutdown mechanic going into this game 3 for either team?
I don't know if there's like one specific thing. I honestly think Sneaky Golem outdrafted this game. I think we talked about the potential, maybe they should have banned the Infernus, you know, in that mid-phase ban. I think also the Warden and the Victor picks were beautiful, right? Like this triple threat front line that Melee Creeps drafted, didn't feel like there was a single fight in the game where they were able to really, you know, control the tempo of the game or bulldoze over. It felt like it was always playing more scared of the Warden and of the Victor. And that let Infernus just kind of do his thing, to be like full gun build, you know, like all in damage. And so honestly, I think Sneaking Home just found the edge in the draft. That being said, I think they got it in a way where I think Melee Creeps can adapt and can kind of, maybe don't go as crazy with the frontline commitment, you know, knowing that this counter exists.
Is there going to be goo in the next game, DDK?
I don't know, but I do have something naked to show you, Pucker, that you might like.
Is it a cat?
It's this. Look at my mouse. It's naked. See? It's got no booty. There's no booty in it. Where the booty at?
What do you do with your palm? There's nothing to like rest it on.
He's just a fingertip. He's just a fingertip enjoyer.
Just a tipper.
I mean, you can also like put the booty back on. Actually,
I've got away from the fingertip grip, man. That gives me carpal tunnel. I've relearned to do a little bit of a not claw grip at least anymore. Maybe
is this an Intel product?
No, Pucket.
Not yet.
No, it's not.
Not yet. Not yet. We're gonna work on that for them. In the meantime, DDK, Jake, would you guys like a break? Should we make Solomon hold his pee and just go straight into a game 3?
No, I think we should give the teams a second, right? This is a big game.
Nice
this
guy.
is for all the marbles. This is for that big kashish, that big cashola, and also to assert dominance going into that trolley tournament for 10 Gs, maybe 10 Gs for North America. And you got to think these are our two teams that we will expect to see in the grand finals of North America in that tournament, given their strength, given the experience of these rosters. So a lot on the line here this Wednesday here at the Deadlock Night Shift.
DDK, what are you going to put in your mouse booty during the break?
I don't know, man. Whatever fits in there. You know how it goes.
Yep. Whatever fits. We'll be right back. It's Night Shift. Welcome back. It's the Night Shift. Shift number 9. DDK just finished his business, but we're still making him work overtime. And that's because we're going to a game 3. Sneaky Golem's forcing it. The former Hydration lineup now joining Rocker. The Golems were supposed to be favorites coming into the night, and they got handed the first L, but they bounced back. DDK, what did people miss if they missed game 2?
Well, they missed Hydration, now Sneaky Golem essentially picking a bunch of playmakers and having a way better start to their game, lots more pressure. They had a way better like mid game ultimately, even though they kind of fell behind a little bit, which gives me a lot of faith that we're going to get a really, really solid game 3. We saw a way better, I think, draft from them overall. That gave them way more options. And they also were able to get rid of that Paradox threat, which I think was a problem for them to not have Paradox. It seems like Paradox is one of those kind of swing picks almost that like a team you really want to have. So that's something I'm going to be looking forward to seeing how it plays out in this draft.
We're going into the draft, and Jake, last time we saw Goober got his guy. He loves Viscous. Everyone knows it. The Goo Ball is part of his name. But that was not allowed in game number 1. They banned it out with the second ban for melee creeps. Do you think they use it going into a game 3? If not, where are you trying to ban? What tools are you taking away from Sneaky Golem to get another dub?
I mean, I think if Sneaky Golem take it in the first 3 again, then they will be able to get it. I think the question is, where's the priority on it, right? Like, I think if it goes after first 3, I think it makes a lot of sense as a second phase ban for melee creeps to take out of Goober's hands. It's like, are we going to first ban Viscous? That feels too crazy. And with it being a less prio pick right now, it's kind of like only because you have a player like Goober on the roster that you really want to get it. So block picking doesn't make sense either. I think there's a lot of roads that lead us to Sneaky Golem having another Goober Viscous game with all the marbles here in the middle.
The cat suits are banning first. And just a side note, whoever gets Paradox with that first pick has won. I believe, 3 in a row on the show. My brain's real small. I can't remember a lot, but Paradox first pick has been locked in, a surprising number tonight. And the pocket is removed to open things up here for the melee creep. So no pocket play for the sneaky golems. What do they do on the other side?
Interesting.
Don't they just get a Mina here? I mean, maybe, I guess melee creeps might look to take Mina themselves in the first pick. Maybe they go away from the Paradox. It's a weird first ban though, honestly, for me, because I feel like Pocket and Mina are a little bit interchangeable for me. Like I don't know if I'm that worried about losing out on Pocket as Sneaky Golem.
Right, there's the Force Kelvin ban you're talking about. That's why it pays to go first. Challenger advantage.
Yeah, we'll see if melee creeps can progress things from here. The Paradox will be the most straightforward pick based on how the series has gone, but they could want to change the tempo. Not today though, not yet at least. I think with Pocket out though, it makes a Shiv pick here really attractive in the first two. Like I think Shiv is already super strong, but without Pocket in the mix, that just takes away like one of the key counters. I think you could go like a Shiv Mina here. I'd be very happy with that if I were Sneaky Golem.
Roll me a vampire.
It's
I was
It's a
wondering if they would steal.
Okay,
Yeah.
the Prio on Bebop is crazy high in NA right now. It's gone like first 2, I think, in every game. So, all right, this gun build Bebop. I mean, maybe this is the value of like Blood Tribute. I think a lot of people have been realizing the power of that item recently, and I think Bebop probably the best Blood Tribute user in the game. Such a great user of Rate of Fire, as well as like needing the resistance. And they do grab the Shiv as well. I think getting the Shiv with Pocket out just makes too much sense right now. And I think you could easily follow this up with the Viscous as your third pick.
Okay, well, melee creeps have an opportunity to steal that away as well. I mean, I don't know if...
Can you handle the Viscous like that? Are you like that with the Viscous? Is the
Nobody's
question for
that
me.
gooey.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You got to be real green and real gooey if you wanna take it in the first 3. You got to be a specialist. I mean, Goober made it work, right? Like did everything he needed to. You know, early pop-off game on a low eco playstyle, able to set his team up to succeed. That's exactly the dream, but I don't know that melee creeps. Like I don't know if you can really pull that off unless you're particularly experienced on the Viscous, given that it's not the strongest hero in the patch right now.
Does a Mo make it through? The Mo's been banned out by NA so far. There's the Mina you were calling out, Jake. It doesn't land with the Golems, which means the Sticky Icky, the Viscous should be on the way for the Golem crew.
I mean, I gotta say, I do quite like that pick there. I think Mina, Abrams, Paradox, like all 3 of these heroes are sort of like tier 1 picks from my perspective. Like you have a great frontliner, you have a great catch hero, and you have Mina, who's monster damage and like late game information gathering. She's just so hard to catch, so tricky to lock down. GT is nice. We haven't seen GT really featured that much. It's been for the most part banned out. So I think this is needed for Sneaky Golem. They need someone to provide that huge amount of spirit nuking.
Yeah, and especially with Mina being so squishy and being airborne, it feels like Talon does
Good call.
provide a lot of really nice answers against that. So I like that a lot from Sneaky Golem. And I mean, Talon's like a weird one because I feel like there's not necessarily a direct counter per se, because his immobility is not amazing, and if you get on top of him, you get on top of him, great. But at the same time, his damage output can still be absolutely insane. And you can kind of misjudge those fights pretty easily. So I don't know if there's like a supernatural counter that I can think of with GT.
So both
Why are
Warden
you getting rid of
and Victor
and Warden? Because those are characters that Sneaky Golem has played themselves.
I think part of it is like, I think Victor might be really nice into Shiv in particular, because you can kind of just face tank Shiv for a long time. And, if you execute Victor on his first life, it doesn't reset the execute, even if you have it maxed. So it's can kind of stop that spree. But now these are the 2 heroes that in the last game countered the heavy frontline draft. So I kind of think both teams might be in a little bit of a race to pick up a lot of these key frontliners. So Calico goes for Sneaky Golem, which I think they're going to be pretty happy about taking away from somebody like Scout.
I mean, Billy is still available. Billy had so much priority, but in the past, but it just really doesn't seem to be nearly as important to people in the draft these days. Yamato's coming back, and I really like that. But it's interesting, is Abrams going to be kind of cold and alone out there in terms of the front line? Again, it does feel like you need something else, and Mo is still available. Billy's still available.
I wouldn't mind a Mo, especially for melee creeps, given they have the Paradox swap. But they go with the guy, so okay, they're saying, hey, look, you've taken out these sort of like frontliners, and now we're just going to go double down, triple down on the front line. Sneaky Golem, still have the Shiv Calico. I don't know that they need more than that. They might pick up the Viscous here, though. This would make a lot of sense to grab it. They haven't taken it just yet, unless it's going to be like a Goober GT. Or maybe it's a Goober Bebop, actually.
They said Goober Bebop in the chat, and I don't know if I believe it, but it could happen.
I've seen it play a lot of Bebop. I think that actually would make a ton of sense here. And maybe this isn't necessarily the game to be on Viscous anyway. You could hard force it, but there's no like obvious reason to be picking it compared to the last game where you knew your Infernus was going to be the target of all these dives. You know, you can save Infernus in pocket and let them play their way out of difficult scenarios.
Final pick for both teams. Sneaky Golem will lock in Mirage. ZP said expect this character to see a massive uptick. Comes in at number 11. The 12th hero locked in by Melee Creeps is... Do it. You won't.
Maybe they need something teamfight-esque, like some AoE lockdown, a Lash, maybe?
They've been liking Wraith.
They're up against
too,
Bebop.
so-
You were looking to summon a god.
Lash,
right?
okay, there you go. You got it.
Here I am.
Lash is kind of nice.
I mean,
I'm
it's
curious
kinda, there's a Bebop, right? So the classic duo,
The lore.
the Clanka and his nemesis, baby. Let's see who's got it, Lash or Bebop.
Yeah, it's going to be
Fish
interesting.
cake
I want to see
ban
how
on the
Mirage is going to...
Victor. Warden ban on AVG was the clarity. Thank you, Megs, who watches all the scrims. Megs is here every single week. Big shout out to all of you who have been here all 9 shifts of the night shift. This is the 9th and final fight here for North America tonight in DDK. I have a feeling it's going 38 minutes. Can we get a prediction from you and a prediction from the chat? How long is this game 3?
Let's see. Looking at this comp.
Can you steamroll?
I'll go 33 minutes.
Who you got winning?
33?
That's what people want to know. Who you got winning?
Oh, man. I didn't know how to figure out that as well.
Jake, give me a time while he answers
I'm going
that.
to Sneaky Golem. I think Sneaky Golem will win.
I'm going to say this is a 29-minute Sneaky Golem victory. 29-15. 29-15.
Melee Creeps are going to dominate in 21 minutes. You heard it here
Whoa.
first. The fastest game on the night. A steamroll from the start to the end. Am I terribly wrong? Find out at the end of this video by scrolling forward on YouTube. If you're watching the VOD, if you're live, enjoy it. Sneaky Golems, Melee Creeps. It's DDK, Jake on the mic. Final fight begins now. Ding, ding.
Here we go, baby. The gloves are off, and we're in to our final map of our money match. Sneaky Golem gonna rock up with a double global strat, right? That Mirage, Traveler, the Great Talon, Owl, able to kind of appear into all these team fights around the map. I think that's gonna be super potent. I think that's gonna give them a macro edge. Melee Creeps, though, gonna have that monster front line without a Victor or Warden to shut them down.
Yeah, this is gonna be super curious. I mean, I gotta say, like, a lot of the mid games have not kind of gone as I would have expected them to go based off of how the early game goes. Like, so far, I think both teams have been really resilient if they are a little bit behind. So that's, I think, making this series a lot more compelling in that respect. So okay, let's assess these early lanes, these early matchups, see what we think. The Yamato Paradox, you've got that there for Melee Creeps. That's usually going to be a strong lane.
Yeah, they're both strong lanes in the mid, though, honestly. Like Rocker and Rokane on GT Mirage. If they ever get the lane prio, like, you know, Fishcake and Saya are going to put a lot of priority in constantly keeping the creeps shoved under tower, because if Rokane can ever take that top bridge and start pressuring them, the lane's going to get really scary for them. So they're playing aggressive, but I think it's almost because they have to. I don't think you can really afford to let Mirage take that kind of a position on you.
We've got Lamina Abrams, also a strong lane against Infernus. And who's with the Infernus there? That's going to be...
Calico.
Calico.
It's
There we go.
Hydration Calico. Okay.
All right. Okay, we got a lane swap. Is that lane swap? Looks like a lane swap. Infernus into mid with the Mirage. And you got the GT now joining... so Rocker joining Calico
Big hook.
on this side lane.
And I don't think he has his jump skill. He's just going to be dead to rights there. And doing what damage he can is nice, but Lord of them... Wait, no way.
Oh my
way.
goodness, like a
They
tick
thought he
away
was
from
dead.
death.
They just thought he was dead to the bleed, and they didn't want to, you know, get the counter kills from Geist. So a little bit too greedy here, and hold on. Yeah, I don't think you can stand toe-to-toe against this Geist anymore. Lord NM somehow gets out of that, thanks his lucky stars.
I feel like it's, you know, if you're... Let's say if, like, Goober and AVG here are, like, decently healthy, which they're not. I feel like getting that low on HP for, like, Lord and M kind of sucks because it's like worse than a death because you can't add any pressure to the lane, but you don't want to leave the lane and lose souls. So it becomes like this very hard decision.
True. I think Lash might be able to lifesteal back up, especially with Geist. The presence Geist is going to put on this lane is really valuable. GT came to this lane, wanted that damage, maybe just wants to try to burst down this Mina and bully her out of the lane. So far, pretty defensive laning stage. As it looks a very slight edge in terms of the pressure for melee creeps. But nothing game-breaking, nothing that's really going to change too much. ABG just doing a nice little box run here. Going to get a lot of value as Bebop just holds down the tower.
All right. Pretty slow start. You know, a lot of damage exchange for both sides and like no clear winners already just yet. With that said though, you know, it looks like, you know, you can see from the HP on the Guardians, more damage taken on the melee creep Guardians across all of lanes. All of the lanes.
Infernus, scared here. Yamato takes a lot of tower pressure for that. He's thinking about maybe going for a power slash. Instead just puts that pressure on the tower. Gonna be able to grab that Mystic shot. It's a nice power spike for him. Rokane has gotten pretty farmed in this lane though. Interesting that they brought the Infernus here. I think it was more of a question of wanting to bring the GT over to the side lane rather than particularly wanting Infernus here in this lane.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's definitely a lane that GT can't have as much presence on, I think, in this mid lane. And you want to get your GT... You really want to get your power spikes on the GT as quickly as you can. So that burst damage can be like massively impactful.
Somebody in the chat pointing out, Sneaky Golem is rocking a bunch of orange heroes to fit the orange trunks. Melee creeps a lot of blue heroes. Very on theme here. The Sapphire Flame. See if they've got enough. The Amber Hand definitely living up to the name. They just need a 7 on the Amber Hand to really complete the effect.
Imagine one day if we'll have like team logo or jersey branding on like the Guardians and the Sinner Sacrifices and stuff like that. That'd be so sick.
Okay, Mina taking that smoke here from GT. Ooh, okay, that hits like you're on 1 HP, honestly. But still, it's like Mina's gonna be scared this lane. Just has to go do a box run. Doesn't really have a heal meaningfully. So I see why they wanted to prio that lane matchup.
Yeah, we talked about it in the draft. It's just Mina's weakness is really that health pool, and her mobility can help to dodge a lot. But you know, those power shots are really nasty. But we've got some follow up here. Love bites, proccing there, taking down hydration, and
nice pin in.
This might be the tower actually.
I think it should be. Oh, they're gonna get that slam over the top. Knocks Nostra as well. A lot of damage coming in, and DMB just turns that over to the Guardian. Gets the cleanup. And they're very low on DMB and Scout. Is there a counter kill opportunity for GT here? Is there another single retreat? Ooh. What's the fees?
What happens? What's going on?
No.
I hear noises.
We're back.
I hear noises.
Okay, I think Mina lived. Sure looks like she lived.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Or she died and respawned. We'll have to watch the stream to see if we look like idiots. Rocker tried to bird here in the side lane on the Scout. Despite that tower being down, Sneaky Golem giving as good as they're getting there. And a life buff on the Infernus gonna allow him to maybe take the pressure towards the opposition, and Rocker does find Scout. Mina just doesn't have the HP to stay alive into that trade.
Paradox coming over to left lane for the paradoxical swap, which is online. It might be able to find Rocker, who is very low on HP. Can he get it in time? A kinetic carbine, and there we go. Brilliant gank coming on through from Saya.
Yeah, that's a nice value gank, right? Able to, you know, they've already done so much pressure on the mid lane, and now Abrams just comes back to, you know, kind of defend that mid lane. That being said, the tower taking is very real from Infernus and Mirage. These two guys both able to start hitting your Guardian. It's going down quick. You really can't afford to give up much time. So Paradox is right back into mid, wants to continue to have that kill threat. And with Backstabber, it's only going to be yet stronger. So we'll be able to see what exactly happened here. We lagged out. Oh, it was a kill. Okay, so DMB did go down. He was just, oh, okay, just a 7-second respawn. That's how it be in the early game. Rocker going to be happy to get that one.
More harass onto the GT there. You've got a bit of a sandwich on the left side lane. There's Abrams in the mix there, but again, that burst damage just honestly is very good at dealing with Abrams. I mean, GT is good at dealing with basically everybody.
Ooh, one more arrow, one more shot. Abrams seems like he's okay for now.
There you
But
go.
it's DMB who tanks the brunt of this, and DMB struggling here on the Mina.
Oh, not enough there for that killing blow. Is there an escape possible? Slice and dice.
Full rage.
Fish cake is all good though. Oh wow, that killing blow is so sad. It's so sad when it doesn't. You're just above the threshold.
Yeah, and the spirit shielding, I think proc just to give her enough HP to tank through it. DMB once again under assault here in the side lane. They're trying to punish GT. Rocker's bitten off a lot here, and he's been a major thorn on their side. Maybe Rocker finally going to be sent back to the base to heal. And this Mina has kind of been forced into some defensive choices here. Thinking about even buying a spirit shielding as well. I mean, this is the why you wanted to force so hard onto this GT matchup into Mina. Like, even with a tower down, the fact that it feels like Sneaky Golem are more dominant on this side of the map.
Right now, Saya needs some help in mid. He's going to get some assistance from Fish Cake. That mid's Guardian is heavily under threat. 3 players now in mid. From Sneaky Golem as GT Rocket comes across to try to punish. Good positioning over the top there, trying to use all of those arrows, the rain of arrows, and it's going to work out. Able to drop Fish Cake. And this tower, this Guardian, it does look like it should probably go down. Get some burst damage in there, get some melees, but in comes Saya there to try to slow things down.
What?
Damage output is so good on the GT, but are they going to get this tower? There we go, finally. AVG over the top with that that play, or Rokane, sorry, I should say. Oh my god.
Ooh, do they have a swap to follow up? I mean, man, this is just a real brawl this game so far. Rocker, though, does have that bird now. So all these low players across the map, like, you got to be careful on Saya. They're trying to chase down a very low AVG Shiv. And they're right on top of this GT, but is GT running or is she turning to fight? Because it's a little bit scary to chase this down. Are you really going to dive this far into the Walker? Maybe one power splash would do it, but yeah, just can't dive the Walker here. Pre 10 minutes. It's just a little bit too crazy.
That is definitely greedy. That would be like the absolute definition of greed, but I like it. Self-restraint, discipline. We all need it, especially Puckett.
And John, by the way, an immovable force in the side lane. Like, this build is disgusting. He's got the double resistances and radiant regeneration. You are not clearing this guy's out of the side lane. And if you leave this tower, you're going to lose it. The only hope is maybe like a really deep pull under tower could be a potential way to deal with the guys, but I'm not convinced with her having swap and this much resist that even a hook under tower is going to be enough.
Yeah, very interesting part of the game now as we hit the 10-minute mark. Mid boss spawns, bridge buff spawn, and the urn spawns as well. Under the control of melee creeps right now.
Looks like
And
2 buffs as well for melee creeps, so that's actually pretty nice for them to find here.
Fighting for control of this right side lane as well. This is really important to clear this lane, have control of it for the urn deposit. Hyper Beam comes in to deal with the Guardian. Again, timely Guardian takedown because this urn is trying to make its way across to this side.
The Hyper Beam doing its job here, clearing out an objective. That buff to spirit damage on objectives, nice, because I mean, this is a very low investment Hyper Beam. Goober definitely going to be playing for a gun scaling build, as now he's in the perfect position to look for a hook on this urn drop. I think Scout should know this is coming, though. Should look for the counterplay. And there's 4 players here for melee creep, so if you don't hit this hook, it's going to be an easy urn turn in. And he just doesn't even go for it. I'm a little surprised he doesn't throw it out there, but maybe wasn't even sure they could win the fight even after the hook.
Yeah, left side Guardian getting taken out. Rokane with that, and obviously it's a big fight, so might be some more kills on top of it. There we go, Saya gets taken out in the meantime. Urn deposited on the right side. And there goes that concussive combustion. The flame dash as well. Lot
He's cooking.
of regeneration on the guy. Still up though. John for the time being. Big slam coming on through, but it's going to be repelled there. Rocker with a double. So much spirit damage output is going to clean up for Sneaky Golem.
The point blank bird just pops him there under tower. And even John doesn't have the tankiness to survive through League's Infernus. You know, I think big fight win. Hydration, meanwhile, quietly has assumed the sole lead here. I don't know how he did that. Got a couple of kills there on the side lanes. but has earned himself a pretty comfortable spot. Maybe we could check out the Calico, see what her build's looking like, because a Calico with a soul lead is a truly terrifying opponent, especially with this much damage behind her. If she's able to get to the point where, you know, you get people low enough with Calico that it just takes one bird or one execute from Shiv to follow up on, that's so challenging to fight into.
Right now as well, I think we're seeing a lot of cleanup of the farm, the sinners and so on for melee creeps. It kind of feels like we're at the spot where they're in a position to do what they do best, which is that mid-game pressure. So we'll have to see, but you know, first perhaps we've got this Guardian on the right side that is going to be a pressing objective. They've got 4 players around it at the moment on that right side lane. And look at this though, you know, you got Sneaky Golem. They definitely are feeling that potential attack.
Oh, a swap would be nice. You're able to pin Great GG to the wall. Does she have the movement to fly away? It seems like not quite. You did jump into the Hornet's Nest here. Sneaky Golem trying to turn this fight around, but the Abrams ulti out. He's going to be safe. He's going to be happy to get out of that, and that's a big streak out of Rocker. And at the same time, you clear that last side Guardian. Lash triple stacks on the dagger, in real trouble. Another early execute there. Doesn't get reset, but I think ABG, I'm not even sure if he has it maxed there, because I think maybe he's going for a knife build this game on the Shiv, which would make it a little bit scary to be some of these frontliners like Scout and John, right? You know, the Shiv is stacking up those knives on you can be a bit of a problem.
Yeah, and also for your GTs, because it's not that hard to connect those knives. And yeah, I definitely agree. I think there's a lot of application looking across the roster. So we'll see how that pans out.
I see the detective.
Now, a lot of players around mid at the moment. Might see another fight brewing here, as it looks like we'll have the Sneaky Golem trying to get into the jungle. The melee creeps here a little bit, trying to find a pick-off attempt, but it's not too much going on at the moment. Sneaky Golem able to, you know, kind of position around this. Melee creeps not getting in too deep. We do still have the Paradoxical Swap online to initiate. Shiv is getting close to Paradox. There he go. There's the challenge. He's going for this one.
Shiv is tanky too. He doesn't mind soaking some of this damage, especially with the shields. Big hook in. And I mean, Saya's just been the punching bag this game, man. So many times. He's been the one assassinated. So much focus power coming in on him. And this is the kind of challenge in these games where maybe things are a little bit more difficult and you're looking for those initiation, those opening catches. He's been coming into enemy territory and getting absolutely slapped down. Abrams as well went in for something, and League just wastes no time, immediately pulls the trigger on the concussive combustion and just blows up this Abrams. At the same time, though, Walker going down on the right side of the map. I'm not sure they're going to be able to defend this. It looks like it's only Rokane trying to make this defense. Instead, they decide to trade, but Nox Nostra just used a clear wave, and John's here as well to help assist with the defense.
Yeah, Rocket getting a little bit low. Also, Ern is going to be spawning on the bridge buffs as well. So very impactful moment in the game right now, as a huge presence from Sneaky Golem on the left side. Screech from the bird as it's getting sent to try to find its target. Not going to catch anything just yet, though, but Fishcake will go down. Hydration on the Calico is so far ahead at this point. 16k souls is looking quite strong. Gun buff for him on the right side bridge. And that Urn is spawned on the right side as well. He's going to go for it. And in fact, there's a presence here. Mina has turned up here. DMP is around the corner. Big damage there from the forward slash coming in from Hydration, but gets caught out by multiple players here. Can Hydration survive this one? He's pretty tanky, pretty slippery as the cat, but he's going to get charged to the wall and completely eviscerated, and that Urn will be under control for melee creeps for now, but the deposit is going to be another story.
Still, it's good value for melee creeps, right? In that exchange, they're able to clear the Walker and shut down Hydration, who's the most farmed hero on Sneaky Golem, although League is going to start to pass him up during this death timer. And a free Urn would really put a decisive advantage in for melee creeps. You really don't want to give that up if you're Sneaky Golem, but how are you going to fight this? It's kind of a lot of pressure on Goober to find a hook when, I mean, that's going to be such a telegraph play. As now, see Saya, see if we can find one of those opportunities, get a swap in. And they said it's going to be potentially a free Urn here.
Well, there we go. The challenge is made. The bird comes in, and it's an absolute mess there around the Urn drop-off point. We've got the melees, the fists are flying at the moment. Scout goes down. Really good start here for Sneaky Golem. They're going to lose Rocker. That's a big point of damage, but Shiv is really scary here, but being tracked by the Mina is kind of annoying, actually. A big damage output coming on from that, but the re-engage off of that fight. Shiv's still doing a lot with those knives. Has a Spirit Snatch as well, so Shiv is looking kind of scary at this point. Now it looks like League might get a little bit isolated, trying to juke the Mina, but 2 versus 1 here, not looking favorable for League as he tries to escape here, falling down the stairs. In comes the assist there in Rocane. And that is going to be fantastic. That damage output from the Mirage, the Tornado, locking down the Lash as well. And it's almost a complete team wipe there in favor of Sneaky Golem. That own fight was a massive dub there for Sneaky Golem.
Yeah, turns the advantage around completely. And now it's going to be attempted a mid-boss here. This is a very risky mid-boss. I mean, there's going to be for sure an opportunity to contest this for melee creeps. However, they probably won't be at full strength. Looks like the damage is pretty solid here. You got to slow this one down, and Geist is trying to do exactly that, putting a lot of spam down on the pit. But I mean, with the trap from Great Talon, it's so hard to contest the rejuve here. So the bird being attempted as well. The stun comes in, 2 crystals come, and for 1 against for melee creeps. Ultimate still available. See if the fight is good, but John John's already down. Abrams slams into the ground, but Sneaky Golem still healthy, still with 2 crystals.
I guess I can.
And now Lee continuing to pour onto the chase. Melee creeps trying to just fall back completely out of this. Abrams knows he's caught dead to rights, has no way out, just turns around with the melee. But still 2 crystals, and you're able to leave the mid-boss with a few kills as well. And Sneaky Golem, that's exactly the fight they were looking for. The victorious Urn fight directly into a mid-boss trade.
Yeah, and right now it does feel like AVG is getting really strong. The AVG, obviously, as well as Calico, being kind of as far up as they are at the moment is really, really scary. And honestly, as well, like Rocane and League are in pretty good spots too, as just massive damage dealers, respectively, on Infernus and Mirage. So this game is starting to get out of hand, even though it's only a small soul differential overall. It kind of feels a lot worse than it looks at the top of the scoreboard.
Yeah, the AVG just going to farm up here. They're going to clear out a lot of jungle here. And then they're still going to have, let's say, about a minute left on the rejuve to do with what they please once they get the next big slate of buys off. Curious to see what direction AVG wants to go here. As a big hook in, as well as the Tornado. Isolating down this Mina, has already used a Sanguine Retreat, trying to get up to the high ground. Ooh, just inches away from a Goober hook there. That would have almost certainly been DMB's death.
That would have been magnificent. Truly one for the ages. But we've got 4 players right now for melee creeps on this left lane. 3 for Sneaky Golem. Looks like we'll have some repositioning there as both teams look to clear out the map respectively. Man, there's so much chunky damage from GT.
I mean, that's like 25% of Geist's health. And Geist is, I mean, might be the second top, like number 1, number 2 tankiest hero on melee creep. So if GT is just hitting 4 arrows back to back on you, there's not much that's going to survive it.
Just dropping these traps so that if you try anything.
Annoying. Yeah, come contest me. Come up to the high ground. Let's see what happens up here. And they've got a lot of backup behind as well. They're trying to bait someone into this area, but this is a pretty big commitment of players for Sneaky Golem. I mean, 3 players not doing a whole lot of anything here. I guess they're just securing the buff. Gonna be happy with that, but it's still a 1-for-1 buff trade. So not the compounding advantage that you would want as Sneaky Golem in this position. But as they have 4 players grouped up, it feels like they have to push the Walker to get value out of this, but I think melee creeps are ready for that. They've got 3 players of their own to make that defense. You get pinned under this Walker, I don't know how much the Rejuve Crystals are really going to do.
Yeah, Mina is not here in this fight, so that might be a problem there for melee creeps. Can they defend regardless? The charge comes on through, mega damage, and there's the killing blow trying to fly on through. Somehow the dodge comes in, and the ship, AVG, he's bitten more than he can chew there.
Scout's
but of course, the Rejuve Crystal, the reincarnation. And in the meantime, the urn will get deposited by hydration. So big win in the back of all of this. There comes Mina finally to the fight. A bit late though into this fight, and maybe too little too late. They're going to have to give up the Walker. They might give up some lives as they try to retreat as well. This is not a good look at all for melee creeps.
And I mean, AVG just going absolutely all in there. Manages to finish off Abrams with what I think was like a mystic shot from long range. And still with 1 crystal. I mean, I'm really surprised Sneaky Golem were able to hold on to 1 crystal there. It's still nice. It gives them that extra, let's say 20, 30 more seconds of this powerful buff, which is going to speed up their ability to farm and clear the map out. The one risk is they are pretty low on a lot of players, right? Sneaky Golem are trying to get just absolutely every single creep, every single bit of farm that they possibly can. But Transcendent cooldown online for hydration, that's going to become scary, man. He's going to reach this part on Calico where he can just kind of walk in, tank the initiations, and there's not much you can do about it. He's just going to be, you know, standing amidst your whole team pumping damage. And there's so many threats now. League also up to 26k. Leech online for him. Oh man, that is super scary. It's like, feels like DMB has so much farm, but it's not easy to use this game on the Mini. He's had to build a lot of defensive tools, where I feel like League is kind of all in on the damage with just a Leech and like a Spirit Barrier to keep him alive.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way, and you got to have good timing to the fights as well. Okay, here we go, another one in mid. We'll get a lot of players for Sneaky Golem. Kind of, maybe a little bit late to the fight, but they're going to actually have a surround. They are surrounding the Melee Creeps players. Positionally, that is not a good look here for Melee Creeps. They do get that initial kill onto the ship. That is a massive kill to open up the fight. Scouts in trouble there on the Abrams, getting very low on HP at this point. And they're finally trying to chase down the Calico. Rocker on GT low as well. Sneaky Golem having problems in this fight. In fact, actually, Melee Creeps with 3 kills back to back, and they are in a good position. Now they just have to deal with Rokane here on the Mirage. Very healthy at this point in time. They try to surround him, just to reposition into the basement, looking to get the follow-up onto the Bebop as well. Goober goes down. League, Rokane, nothing left to tank for here. They are just stuck in the open, totally exposed, able to make it back to the Walker to keep themselves up. But in the meantime, that is 5 players alive for Melee Creeps. They are on a lick of health each, but that is what counts. They are up.
Beautiful team fight there. AVG just dove in super deep, thought that was maybe a stronger fight than it was. And Sneaky Golem just weren't in position to really get that damage off from Rocker. He got bursted down a little bit too quick into the fight, and they got kind of corralled into the corner. So Melee Creeps doing a great job sharing the load there in terms of defending, tanking through that engagement. Still though, Sneaky Golem, like, that's a bad trade going against you pretty harshly, and you're still sitting on like what, a 13k soul lead here. So it's a nice fight win for Melee Creeps. We'll see if they're able to do it again. I think they're going to need one more just like that to really get this game back into even. But it will encourage Sneaky Golem to maybe be a little bit more cautious with how they take this engagement, especially E-Shift for Mina. That's going to let DMB take a lot more risks and push this tempo a lot more aggressively.
Yeah, that was such an interesting fight. Because, like, positionally, too, you know, it was a surround. You know, Sneaky Golem surrounded from the left and right side. Melee Creeps. So it kind of feels like that's usually going to go bad for the team that gets sandwiched. But I think they just found that kill onto AVG like instantaneously, and that seemed to really snowball it towards their favor. So see if they can do anything else like that. They're going to hear some of the farming here. Melee Creeps, you got the GT looking for the power shot.
A little awkward here for the GT. Guy scouts it out. It's being attempted. Big lash ult. Looks like only one is the Shiv, who's pretty tanky. Challenging initiation. Saya is already down. Traps being deployed by the GT. Here's Mina over the top, trying to put damage in onto League. The Infernus is super low. You want to be able to finish off this Infernus as the opponent, but the GT Bird slows down that chase, forces Abrams off of the play. Now, it's an attempt for Yamato to follow up, finish where her teammates started. But still, in the end, it's just 2 free kills. Melee Creeps struggling in that next engage.
Straight down to mid-boss as well. But actually, a quick pursuit, and oh my god, they actually isolate them. They are separated into the mid-boss chamber.
So low.
So they aren't able to fully defend, and they're going to take 1 player down.
That's not free, man. There's 3 players on 1 HP. Sneaky Golem know it. They're going to be hunting down. They get 2 kills coming in. Rocker and Rokane find the next catches, and then they're right into the mid-boss. Fighting next to the pit has that advantage as an immediate objective to claim. And this could be Sneaky Golem here, asserting themselves as our first new champion here in North America. Retaking the throne that was abdicated by Hydra Nation. AVG, the only one on the deck for Sneaky Golem, but they're totally fine with these 5 players up.
And that felt like such a good move too. Like, you kind of gamble that some players are isolated in the mid-boss fight, but didn't work out. Like you say, 22k a soul lead. It doesn't seem impossible, but it's just at this point, it seems like you need you need like the perfect initiation. And it's just so hard to engineer that, to ask for that. And now this is the thing, is that if the macro is correct from Sneaky Golem, they can fall back on the farm, they can deposit the urn, and it is a comeback urn. So, I mean, do we want to fight this, Jake, if we're Melee Creeps?
This is a tough call. I mean, there's no walker on that side of the map, crucially, which makes it a little bit less of a confident spot to go for something. Whoa, super aggressive look from Saya, who's just stepping up on the mid lane here. Wants to force a fight. Is this a little bit of tilt from Saya? Okay, maybe not. Has played his way out of this. But that was wildly aggressive to be that deep in the mid lane. Just had confidence in his movement, though, and all right. In and out, just pulled a lot of attention from Sneaky Golem. Wasted a bit of time in the rejuve. All right, Saya, I won't doubt you again. That was kind of a nice little cheeky play.
To be fair here, Melee Creeps do still have 2 walkers that they can play around. So that does make a difference. And we'll see, though, the earned deposit is going to be attempted. And what did Melee Creeps do here? They could find a fight.
Are they gonna? They're trying to just go for Infernus instead. Infernus, he smells it out now. League just trying to back off. It's gonna be still a crystal online for this Infernus, even if you're able to burst him down. And are they gonna be able to do that just yet? He pops the ulti, scares them off for the moment. Melee Creeps down, caught in a 6-on-6 here with 3 Reju Blisters favoring Sneaky Golem. Melee Creeps, the swap is good from John. Swaps the HP, Sneaky Golem low on a lot of targets. This is not over just yet. See if there's an opportunity for Lash to get him with an ulti here, but AVG starting to clean him apart. There's so many low players. You can't stick around, and drops a WP NGL in the team fight with 5 enemy players still alive, but they're not very healthy here. Melee Creeps, couple players on very, very low HP. And Melee Creeps starting to crumble. Starting to struggle in this game, and Shiv, drops the solo individual single teabag there. Just let them know.
After the backhand as well. just pure dominance. Pure alpha male action from AVG. That's what the A stands for. Alpha male. I don't know what the rest stands for. You can work it out. And this walker's going to go down as I imagine.
He's wasting the Reju Crystal, bro. Okay, no, he's fine. He's fine. I mean, surely he dies just for free to Mina here, though. I'm surprised he doesn't go back.
Supposed to get his health back.
I guess he has fortitude. He's going to chill and get some fortitude heal off here. Maybe go back to base for the reset. But it just feels like Melee Creeps, they need more than a reset, man. They need a remake. They need a new game. Sneaky Golem, about to send them packing here. About to cash that $1,000 prize here, courtesy of Intel at the Deadlock Night Shift NA. They took it to 3 games, and they were down 1. And Hydration said, no more schmucking around, baby. It's time to get serious. Now Melee Creeps have to defend 50k soul disadvantage against them. They don't even have all their ultimates. I wonder if Sneaky Golem don't just buy and hit him with a 1-2 punch, try and end this one right here, right now.
It's, I mean, looking pretty good to be able to do that, but just, I mean, the entire map is up for farm. And that is an option too. Just make it completely guaranteed. It feels already pretty guaranteed, like you're saying, but I mean...
This Infernus is tanky, man. Spellbreaker, counterspell is going to be really difficult. A catch here, 1 single hook. Maybe all it takes, and Hydration now has E-Shift. He's going to be able to just lead in. So aggro here. Maybe someone wants to clear that. There's a big wave of creeps here coming in. Oh, attempt on the side lane now. AVG here. Still has some Reju, 1 Reju Crystal to work with. Sneaky Golem looking for something. DMB on 1 HP gets cleaned up out of the E-Shift. Lord and M has to be the savior, hiding in the corner. Can he get the Lash ult of all time? Chib tanks it down. Big ult does it. No, can't get him into the fountain here. Just into the pit, but that's where they want to be. They're here to clear the patron. They're here to complete the ritual, and it's all Sneaky Golem in the feed. And one final mana pause just to let them know. These two play. Obviously, all these players know each other well. But a big win for Sneaky Golem here, claiming that cash prize.
Man, are we gonna have to start punishing people for doing this? I feel like it kind of ruined my vibe, man. I feel like, you know, we're like got the crescendo, and then you press pause on the track just as the beat's about to drop. I mean, come on.
Oh my God! There's a lot riding on this game. You know, these are the 2 teams that, oh my God, in the paused victory. I don't think I've seen this one before.
Yeah. Oh man,
I like a little bit of drama. It's like the little spice, you know, like we had our steak, we had a great series, but we need that little bit of spice, a little bit of extra flavor on top. And the banner pauses. I mean, I think it was Lord NM, by the way, who opened with a banner pause in game 1. And I feel like you got to give as good as you get.
They got it. Damn. Sneaky Golem walks away with back-to-back dubs after falling into game number 1, and that is going to earn him $1,000. Welcome back to the winning ways. Hydra Nation former lineup. The trio moves forward, connects with a new trio, and instant success. DDK. Is this the new powerhouse team in NA we've all been dreaming of?
I mean, who knows? I mean, there's just seems too much of a precedent for just roster changes, so I don't want to say anything, but it does seem like, you know, this is a great lineup. It's well-rounded. They got a bit of everything. And, I mean, I feel like I can say the same for Melee Creeps. And I think this is the beginning of the new rivalry, though. I think, to be fair. So hopefully we'll get some continuity here. But yeah, Hydra Nation, that was a name that we've been used to casting and has used to be winning NA for the better part of a year. For like how many fights?
It was getting boring.
Fight nights and night shifts. It
was so dominant that I didn't even like watching him on the show because I knew it was going to happen. Things got weird for them about 5 weeks ago, and it looks like they have found a new form, at least for this week. Going into week 10, will it be the same 6 on both sides of the ball you expect, Jake?
Honestly, I think so. I mean, I think these two teams are exciting to me because I kind of don't think it's going to be super advantaged for either one of them. I think their two teams are quite closely matched, and I'm just hopeful we see, like you said, some more continuity, some more, build up. Let's build that narrative. Like, okay, this week, a lot of mana pauses, and you know what, Sneaking Up, they got the win. They made the comeback. They deserve it. However, you run this back in another week, and I feel like this Melee Creeps team is a team that actually can be a much bigger threat that can continue to grow and develop as a roster.
Oh, I saw a comment from the chat. Do you think we should do a $100 deduction for mana pauses in the future?
I like that as a CFO, but I'm not sure the player.
The CFO likes your idea, chat. Keep talking to the Chiefs so we can get something done.
If they do anything rude, one teabag and we don't give you any, and I'll take the prize pool. How about
No, teabags, you earn $5 per squat. All right, we got a lot to talk through. We're gonna create some new challenges for next week. In the meantime, we got to celebrate what happened this week. Sneaky Golems, hydration on the Calico, showing that he's got a few hours in a Rocane on the Mirage, looking great, as well as we take a look at the numbers and the best moments. DDK, it's nearly impossible to pick just one hero or one human, but was there anyone who caught your eye tonight that you think deserves the attention of the audience?
Yeah, for me, it's between Hydration and Rocket. Probably, it's like a bit of a toss up. I mean, the GT performances are always going to be good. I'm gonna go Calico. I'm gonna go Hydration.
I wanted League, man. I thought
League
put the work in on Infernus, man. Not only like in game 2, so many sick parries to just leave Abrams like caught slipping, just easy cleanup kills on him. And then think about the end of the game there. What precipitates all those bad team fights is, Melee Creep sent everyone in trying to chase down League in the mid lane, and he completely evades them, stays alive, and then the clapback is immediate. They win a crushing team fight. Just like the positioning, the laning, everything from League was just top tier, and really showed how Infernus is meant to be played.
We got a 3-game series. I'm happy with what we got. The honeymoon stage is still happy for Sneaky Golem. Melee Creeps going back to the drawing board. We expect to see them next week. And of course, we expect both of these teams to be competing in the $10,000 trolley tournament, which is coming up next weekend. We'll be talking about that in just a bit. We got to finish up this matchup, though. We have an MVP honor to hand out. We're going to try and get an interview for you all at home. And of course, we saw some of the highlights. Jake, DDK, did you put your picks for the MVP in the chat?
I did. I let him know. I'm keeping eyes on the production chat. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep the assets flowing, keeping it moving. And because I'm watching the chat, I get to pick the MVP.
Thank you.
And I thought it was League.
It was League. The Infernus. Show the highlights.
There's just so many like outplays on Infernus this game. So many of these like turning difficult fights, and just the positioning phenomenal across the board. So impressive stuff for me for League. Not necessarily the player I thought name value wise coming into the series would be the MVP, but has impressed me. Has quietly impressed me. And I mean, there were some seriously stylish parries here, especially in game 2.
Cooked. League styling on Scout. It's Sneaky Golem and League taking the $1,000 here on night shift number 9. He earns our player of the match honors. Jake loves him. Jake, how do you think you'd look in a red fedora?
Ooh, maybe an Infernus cosplay. I could work it. I'll wear one of those like Hollywood fire suits. You know what I mean? That like you can like, light yourself on fire, and then
yes, like great call. I like the dedication. I would have never even thought of that. I was thinking suspenders. Like maybe you would just go to somewhere's house, steal his rock climbing gear, and then anyway, let's just keep this moving on as we take a look at the highlights. Some big plays from the Infernus. Is he back in the meta for good, DDK?
I mean, for good, I don't think you could say in Deadlock with anyone because Patches, he knows who is on the chopping block, but. For now, for sure. The gun builds were already getting pretty popular, and I think Infernus is so you can kind of flex him after doing a gun build and having that early mid-game pacing into being super tanky, improving the spirit damage, getting items like leech. You can go so many different directions with Infernus, where he becomes an incredible problem in the late game. So feels like he's got that versatility to be relevant for quite some time, and he has good counters to some important heroes right now too.
We like what we're seeing. Great work from the devs behind the scenes. You guys are keeping the game fresh and fun for us casters and everyone working behind the scenes. Jake, we handed out our MVP. You're handing out some checks, $1,000 to 2 new teams tonight. And of course, we are going to be seeing everyone headed over to the graveyard shift to hang out with Deathy. If you haven't met Deathy before, what should we know about the original Catsuit Man, Jake?
I mean, one of the most OG Deadlock streamers around has also been putting on a ton of epic events in the Deadlock space. So definitely someone we're super psyched to get on the Graveyard Shift. We get to talk about kind of like a much more expanded conversation than we would ever do on the cast. Since we're focused on the tournament, we're focused on, the esport, the match in front of us. But, in the Graveyard Shift, we get to kind of relax a little bit, get the questions from our Twitch subs, from our Patreon supporters, and, get them in on the conversation. What do you want to ask Deathy, get his perspective on the game? I think he's quite a smart guy, and I'm just curious to see what he has to say.
Solomon, can we hit the trolley one more time on the way out for all the NA teams that are about to sign up and get their ass kicked by Team Night Shift? That's right. We're coming at you in the qualifier. Meet me on challenge.com. leaguetrolley.challenge.com. Sign up your team. We'll be competing October 17th through the 19th and October 24th through the 26th if you live in Europe. I'm actually going to be in Europe, so I won't be broadcasting, but I'm hoping to see some of them live in person. If not, I'll be eating some sour worms on the train and celebrating however Europeans do that. It's been a great show. Final thoughts on number 9 DDK. We're going on to double digits next week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've got some great rivalries in both the European region and the North American region. And so this is a great time to get into Deadlock, get your friends into Deadlock, get your mum into Deadlock, get everyone. Get them all. Fuck it.
Absolutely. Jake, final thoughts, week 9.
Just, I'm super psyched to be able to continue to do this, man. We're almost at 10. We're almost at double digits, but it's all only possible because of the community, because of the immense support they've given. Also, for this event, because of Intel, man, putting up a lot of the cash to be able to deliver this prize pool week in, week out, to have this epic event for the community. We're building towards that sustainability. We're building towards all of it. So make sure, throw us your Twitch subs, your YouTube memberships, your Patreon support, especially really helps us out. Patreon is probably the best way, if you're a huge fan of the show, to just support us, allow us to continue to operate and continue to have these consistent tournaments for basically as long as it takes, baby. We're sticking around for the long haul. We want to see Deadlock through all of its ups and hopefully no downs, just ups and ups.
No downs. Yeah, we're just building every single week. Big thank you with everyone who tuned in on YouTube. We hit some record numbers over on that platform with a whole bunch of new subscribers. Joined the 6.5K subscribers over on youtube.com/Deadlock Night Shift. Over on Twitch, though, we had a whole bunch of new subscribers and one MVP. He goes by the name of Enjoy Stuff. Dropped 155 subs in a single day, DDK. Is that a Deadlock Night Shift record?
That's got to be a record, right?
Let's go, you
crazy.
guys.
I think
Jack Sabino is second with 30.
Yep.
Yeah, that's he's probably done it. I think
This is pretty good.
I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty damn good. Enjoy Stuff. Thank you for the support. Do we have the interview right now, Solomon?
Bring him on, baby.
Let's bring him in. We're always ready. Hydration, welcome to the show. It's not your first time here, but it is with this squad. How do we feel about the new lineup tonight?
Oh, it's feeling good, and hopefully it's not my last time here either.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. You're one of the mainstays. Can you give us the drama? Because you guys just crushed last week, and then you guys break up 2 days later.
Hit us with the hot goss, the tea.
Well, it was October 6th, I believe. I was just sitting there playing Clash Royale on my phone, and because the new season of Clash Royale was about to come up, and I was getting ready for it, and then Rocker randomly messages me, and he's like, yo, when the sneaky golem calls, do you answer? And I was like, what's the roster? And then he spells out the roster for me, and then he says, also, Lomain doesn't want to play anymore. So I'm like, so that's half my team on his roster. I mean, I guess I might as well. Yeah, it's kind of sad though.
You should probably keep a job. Yeah. So are you bummed that you don't get to play with your former teammates now?
Well, the saddest part is that yesterday would have been the 1-year anniversary of Hydration, but yeah.
Rest in pizza.
Big sad. Rest in
yeah,
peace.
that's what we were saying. Because the continuity for Deadlock in North America is like Hydration, and that's you guys have been the squad. So yeah. Sorry to hear that's happening that way, but glad to hear that you're on an awesome team and you guys are looking like they're gelling really well. So So that's a positive.
Hydration, how much would it cost for me to buy your team?
Like maybe $3.
All right, I got $3 for you. Chat, we could be like the Green Bay Packers, baby. Everyone just put a little bit of money in the pool, and we could be the Project Deadlock Night Shift, some kind of combo. We'll make that happen. Hydration, let's talk about the games, though, because you were in the discussion for potential MVP. If you were going to hand out the award, who do you think from your team deserves it tonight?
Ooh, that's hard. Let me look at the score screenshots, because the first game, I don't know what happened. It's kind of a small disaster. There's there's 0-8 and 1 Geist on my team. I don't know what was happening there. But the next game he went 6-0 13. So like if that game one didn't happen, I think average could have taken it. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I think League getting it makes sense. The last 2 games he performed insane.
Jake, well done. Go ahead, DDK.
So what do you make of the rivalry with melee creeps now? Because it seems like, in the hibernation era, there were teams that maybe could kind of maybe take a map off you guys or something like that, but it never really seemed like close ever. But it feels like melee creeps is actually a good rivalry for you guys. Do you guys scrim a lot? What do you make of this rivalry? Do you think there is a clear favorite? Do you think a clear favorite will develop? What's the rivalry been like?
Well, as history has shown, so far we've been the favorites, but we scrim them a lot. There's not many teams to really scrim. It's like just them and Chain Gang pretty much. So there's a lot of friendship between the 2 teams too.
Yeah, I think
we noticed that with the mana pauses.
A lot of viewers might see the mana pauses in the trash talking chat and sort of interpret that as super serious, like people are really mad at each other. But I guess can you pull the veil back just a little bit, Hydration, and sort of what the atmosphere is like for both of you guys in that front.
All I'm gonna say to Lord of them is a wise man once told me this. The wise man being Leffa. If you're going to BM, at least be part of the reason you are winning. So. I don't know.
All right.
I like that quote. That's very strong. Who was the originator of that one? That was Leffa.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Leffa, for that wisdom. Dropping some there on Lord NM. We are going to see you guys again in the future. But for all the teams that are considering signing up for the Trolley tournament here from Night Shift, how do you get involved? How would you even start getting into lobbies and maybe playing against teams to scrim to get ready for this thing?
Honestly, I don't know. I think there might be a Discord. You probably could use the official Discord. There's a Deadlock competitive section in there, so you could probably ask around. They might know better because I've never really been.
I don't have to worry about that problem. My coach sets it up. Yeah. I get your lifestyle. Exactly. Hydration, thank you so much as always for joining the show, gentlemen. One last question each. Go ahead, DDK.
Okay, so do you watch the European region much?
If I can wake up in time for it, I do, yes.
But what do you think? What is the... So obviously there's a pretty well-established rivalry there as well, but what are some of the biggest lessons you've taken from watching them?
It's kind of hard to really learn from their style because they kind of play a completely different game, both in their play style and their drafts. So it's kind of worlds divided, I guess, the easiest way to say.
My question is simple. What's your favorite number 1 hero? You only pick one to spam in ranked right now. What are you giving the high prio marks to?
I think Calico. I mean, you saw how much I did that last game. You can consistently do that every game, especially where people are less coordinated in matchmaking games, and you can just one-shot someone and just get out and never be punished.
Great answers. Hydration, thank you so much. Final question for me. What are you going to dress up as for Halloween?
Ooh. It's got to be Deadlock related. So
okay.
I would say the coolest hero design-wise in this game, I think is 7. So if I could dress up as 7, I would.
What city do you live in? What major city are you close to that wouldn't give away your address?
Raleigh, North Carolina.
If we have any North Carolinians who are into cosplay, I know a guy who needs a costume, and Deadlock has a prop budget. Let's make some things happen. Hydration, thank you for joining the show. We got to get to the graveyard shift. We'll catch you next week.
See ya.
That is Hydration. Another $1,000 in his bank account. He can pay for his own cosplay. We wouldn't pay for that shit. We have DDK and Jake here to close out the show, but we're not done. The graveyard shift is immediately following. DDK, final thoughts here on the night before we head to the graveyard shift.
Well, you know what? You guys should probably check into the graveyard shift. We have Deathy on, and he's probably one of the best educators out there. He does coaching as well. So if you're looking to like get good real fast, don't want to mess with all that noise, grinding like everybody else, you want to speed up your ranking journey, go look at his content. Maybe apply for some of his coaching sessions.
Jake?
Just thank you to our normie viewers. Of course, our elite Twitch sub and our Patreon and YouTube member supporters will be joining us on the graveyard shift. But even our normie viewers, we appreciate you. Every little Timmy and Jimmy out there watching the stream, coming in support, chatting it up.
You ain't paying me. I don't give a shit. Get out of my stream.
Put up or shut up. But I appreciate Timmy's and Jimmy's. I hope someday you guys get an Amazon Prime connection from your mama.
Yes, one day we will all have Prime to use. Hey, seriously, on behalf of everyone behind the scenes, thank you for the massive support. Big shout out to everyone running the replays, everyone running the Twitter sphere, and making a run of show that I don't read. And these guys just following the chaos. It's week 9. Infernus is back. Gun Ivy's not really that big of a deal. Shiv's kind of a cool thing. And Paradox won all but the last fight of the night. Get your Minas while you can before the next round of bans. We'll catch you for week 10 with Trolleys on the way for North America starting October 14th. We'll see you then.